Chapter 1992. She's that Sima Yue? Chiku pointed at Sima Yue with her mouth wide open. She recalled the shadow stone she saw and retracted her finger. If she were to strike herself, she would not be able to take it. Looking at it this way, she really resembled that back view. But Big Brother was amazing. That shadow was so small, but he could recognize it. That's right, Sima Yue admitted. Little princess, you're the outsider who recently caused a commotion in the Zhou family? Meng Liang asked. Seems like the news spread quickly. Sima Yue said, but how did it become us causing a commotion in the Zhou family? The news has spread throughout the entire triangular region. Someone repaid kindness with ingratitude and took a lot of benefits from the Zhou family. They even killed their people. Meng Liang said. This news didn't come from the Zhou family, right? Sima Yue said. Zhou family. I guess so. Sima Yue said, may I ask, where is this place? The border between the Zhao and Meng family, the Meng family's beast hunting ground. Meng Ke said, we thought you were the prey here, so Liang projected it. Are there people among your prey? Yes. But the underworld beast is not so fun. Sima Yue did not want to comment on their superiority. In their eyes, everyone else was inferior. Even if they were killed, it was fine as long as they were happy. How did you appear in our beast hunting ground? Meng Liang asked. We were going to the Zhao family, but we encountered two strong warriors fighting in the void and destroyed the space tunnel. We came out early. Sima Yue said, we didn't expect to see your arrows flying over when we came out. That's why Little Black was so angry. Little Black has a bad temper and killed your underworld beast. We're really sorry. If it was anyone else, they would definitely say sorry. But for this little princess of the ghost realm, they still gave her face. It's just a mount. Meng Fei did not care about the dead beast. Their family had as many as they wanted. Since it's a misunderstanding, we'll take our leave first. You're going to the Zhao family? Yes. If you leave like this, you won't be able to reach the Zhao clan. What? This place will suppress your spiritual power and make you lose your sense of direction, Meng Fei explained. Because their prey was human, in order to increase the fun of hunting, they set up something to suppress mental power. Therefore, it was very easy for them to get lost in this vast grassland if they were to walk like this. Sima Yue looked at Bandit 1 and Bandit 1 nodded. You felt it too. Then can you help us? Sima Yue asked. She didn't ask them how they were able to maintain their sense of direction here. This was their secret. Even if she asked, they might not tell her. The few people from the Meng clan looked at each other. Meng Fei nodded and said, it's getting late. Let's call it a day and return to the camp. Your camp is next to the Zhao family? A few people from the clan went to the Zhao family. We didn't want to go, so we set up camp at the border. We wanted to hunt here and wait for them. Meng Liang explained. You have a good relationship with him? Just so. But this time the Zhao family invited many people over. The invitation was sent over, so they went over to see what was going on. Meng Ke said. I see. Then we'll have to trouble you. Sima Yue said gratefully. We still have a few people. We'll leave after we call them. Meng Fei said as she took out the Sun Mother stone to contact others. These people are so nice. They helped us the moment we asked. Hi, she looked gratefully at the Meng clan members who walked to the side. Sima Yue patted his head and smiled. Whether a person is nice or not depends on the person. Yue, what did you say? You'll understand in the future. Sima Yue didn't say it directly. Were these people nice? Not really. If they were really nice, they wouldn't casually treat people as prey and enjoy the fun of hunting. They were very polite to her, not because they were nice but because of her identity and status. If it wasn't her today but an ordinary person with no background or power, the result would be a few more prey. Although Haishi had experienced a huge change in his family, he didn't understand the complicated nature of human nature. Haishi scratched his head in confusion. Alright, he would understand when he grew up. After a while, a few people rode over on their mounts. They said a few words to Meng Ku and the rest, then nodded at Sima Yue and the rest. Let's go. Meng Fei obviously had the highest status in this group of people. He jumped onto a mount, and the original owner of the mount went to join the others. They rode on the grassland for 2 hours before they reached the place where they set up camp. Many servants in the camp saw Meng Fei and the rest coming back and quickly went to welcome them. They waited for them to come down and lead their mounts away. It's already dark now. It's more dangerous to go that way. We'll send someone to send you over tomorrow morning. Meng Fei said. Alright, then we'll have to trouble you. Sima Yue replied. Meng Fei nodded and left. Sima Yue and the rest took out their own tents and quickly set up their tents. Meng Fei's tent. Big brother, that person just said she's the Spirit King's granddaughter. Why do we have to suck up to them? Meng Lai's face darkened. You think I'm sucking up to them? Meng Fei's voice was cold, without the warmth of the day. If you're not sucking up to them, then what are you? Meng Lai snorted. Even if she's the Spirit King's granddaughter, to us she's just an intruder. She even killed your mount. Not only did you not blame her, you even treated her nicely. You even said that you'll bring them to the Zhao family. Aren't you sucking up to them? Meng Lai, watch your words. Meng Liang scolded softly. Why am I wrong? I've been tolerating it all the way back. Now I'm not allowed to say anything? Meng Lai, don't speak so casually if you don't understand. Meng Liang stared at him. Big brother has his reasons for doing this. What's his motive? Sucking up to the spirit realm's little princess, then using that to get close to the Spirit King? Meng Lai sneered. His words were filled with anger and ridicule. Meng Lai. Forget it, Aoyang. He's still young. Meng Fei said. What does this have to do with whether I'm young or not? If you're not trying to get close to the Spirit King, why are you so uncharacteristically enthusiastic? You silly boy. Meng Fei shook his head. So what if I'm trying to get close to the Spirit King? He can't control us here. My real motive isn't outside. If it's not outside, then it's inside. Could it be the Zhao family? Meng Lai asked. Remember the mobile version of the website, M. Chapter 1993. You finally thought of something. Meng Liang snorted. Really? Meng Lai's eyes widened. But what does this have to do with the Zhao family? Think about it. What is her relationship with the Zhao family? Meng Fei asked. What relationship can they have? The Zhao family wants to capture them. Of course they are enemies. Meng Lai said. Enemies are you thinking of? That's right. Meng Fei smiled. Although we don't know how strong this little princess is, from the previous confrontation she isn't weak. But the Zhao family isn't weak either. No matter how strong they are, there are only a few of them. Meng Lai didn't believe that Sima Yue could do anything to the Zhao family. So what? Meng Fei asked. This way they won't be able to affect the Zhao family. Meng Fei shook his head. In the future you still have to follow the family out to gain experience. Meng Lai was unhappy. Wasn't this saying that he wasn't experienced enough? Don't be unhappy. Aoyang, help him analyze it. Okay. Meng Liang nodded. If the little princess is strong enough, she can disturb the Zhao family. If something happens to the little princess, who's behind her? That's the Ghost King. He loves her so much. If he knows that something happens to her, will he just sit back and do nothing? Although he can't control this place, it's easy for him to destroy a power. After listening to his analysis, Meng Lai's lips parted slightly. Then he smiled and said, Big brother is still the most thoughtful. In the future you have to control your emotions. Don't be so rash. Think more carefully when you encounter problems. Meng Liang said. Yes, I know. After knowing that he wasn't trying to curry favor with Sima Yue, Meng Lai's attitude became better. Aoyang and I still have some things to discuss. You can leave. Meng Fei said. Yes. Call me if you need anything. You little rascal, stop smiling. I'll get someone to bring you out to gain experience later. Meng Liang kicked Meng Lai and he immediately ran out. After he left, the two in the room stopped smiling. Big brother, will this Sima Yue do what we think? Meng Liang asked. She will. If she doesn't do it, it's not up to her. Meng Fei snorted. Since she had already boarded this boat, how could he allow her to disembark? Then should we do anything else? No need. We just need to bring them to the Zhao family. Also pass the news to the elders. They're in the Zhao family so they naturally know what to do. All right. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu were taking a stroll outside the campsite. Fuxi followed them. After crossing this mountain, they would soon reach the Zhao clan's territory. She didn't care much about the Zhao family. She was more worried about the starfish in the Qian family. Although she had to wait for 3 years before activating the power of her bloodline, she wouldn't lose her life if she encountered some pedophiles. However, the result was still a pity. Why don't we ask the Meng family directly? They should have told us, Fuxi said. That won't happen. They will only bring us to the Zhao family now. Sima Yue said. What? Did you hear something again? Fuxi asked. No, but it's not hard to guess. Fuxi thought for a while and guessed it. From what happened during the day, the Meng family didn't have good intentions. Why would they agree to her request after knowing her identity? There was only one reason, and that was to let them go to the Zhao family. They didn't know the relationship between the Meng family and the Zhao family, but it wasn't very good. Otherwise they wouldn't rather hunt here than go to the Zhao family. They knew that the Zhao family was chasing them, but they still wanted to bring them there. They just wanted them to fight with the Zhao family. Then, as neighbors, they could watch the tigers fight and reap the benefits. Since they had this goal, how could they let them bypass the Zhao family and go to the Chen family? Actually, you can ask where the Chen family is and then say that you want to go to the Zhao family. Fuxi said, you can say that you want to go to the Zhao family to save Haishi's sister and then go to the Chen family to save his brother. Anyway, their goal is to let us go to the Zhao family. Since we said that we want to go, they have no reason to not tell you where the Chen family is. Sima Yue thought about it and felt that he was right. Even if they went to the Zhao family, they might not know where the Chen family was. It was better to find the Chen family's location here first. You're really smart. Do you always use your appearance to deceive people and do bad things secretly? How can that be? I'm a good young man over there. Fuxi stuck out his tongue. Even if it was true, he didn't want her to know. The next day, Meng Fei found 2 guards to lead the way. Sima Yue took the opportunity to ask about the Chen family's location. Meng Fei was slightly startled. You want to go to the Chen family? Yes. Sima Yue saw the young man behind him change his expression, but her smile didn't change. I want to go to the Zhao family first. After I settle things, I'll go to the Chen family. I must fly to both the Zhao and Chen families. Meng Fei's eyes flashed and took out a map, saying, this is the map of the triangular region. The Chen family's location is on it. Sima Yue opened it. The map was simple and was similar to the country maps in her previous life. It only marked the areas and names of the powers. However, it was better than nothing. With this map, she could understand the distribution of powers here. Thank you. She put the map away and followed the 2 guards. Big brother, why did you give her the map? What if she doesn't go to the Zhao family and goes to the Chen family directly? Also, you only sent 2 people. That's too unreliable. Meng Fei said. Last night I already sent a message to the elders. The Zhao family has already received the news. Sima Yue and the rest will appear here. I asked them to bring her to the grassland on the other side of the mountain for 2 more days. I estimated that the Zhao family would arrive and then bring her to the Zhao family's territory. Sima Yue and the rest were here. They didn't know the direction and didn't know the distance to the Zhao family. Naturally, they could only follow their men. They thought that there wouldn't be any mistakes in their plan. However, because of their pride, they only asked about Sima Yue's identity and didn't ask about the others. Naturally, they didn't know that Yan Jin was here. Although Sima Yue and Fei didn't know the way, they were very sensitive to space. When they realized that these people were taking them to a detour, they asked Yan Jin to take action. Yan Jin casually played a song and the 2 Ming family members were mesmerized. Why are you taking us to a detour? Yan Jin asked. Young master ordered us to. How long did he ask you to take us here? 2 to 3 days. What? Wait for the Zhao family to arrive. They weren't surprised to hear this answer. Chapter 1994. Since the Ming family had such a plan, it seemed like the Zhao family already knew about them. What else do you know? Yan Jin continued to interrogate. We don't know. Our mission is to bring you to the Zhao family. Sima Yue and the others exchanged glances. It seemed like the Ming family didn't want them to be suspicious and didn't let them know too much. Bring us directly out of this hunting ground. Yan Jin ordered. Yes. The 2 guards brought them out of the Meng family's hunting ground after walking for half a day. It was wishful thinking to take them for 2 or 3 days for such a short distance. Or, on the other hand, they thought they were stupid enough. Stay here for 2 days before going back. Also, forget this part of your memory. Only remember that we followed you for 2 or 3 days. Yan Jin said. Yes. The 2 of them left. Sima Yue took out a map and studied it with Bandit 1 for a while. They set up a one-time teleportation array. After they left, the array stones turned into ashes. 2 days later, the Zhao family arrived at the border. However, they didn't even find a shadow after digging 3 feet into the ground. Those people were so angry that they wanted to teach the person who passed the message a lesson. When Sima Yue and the others came out, they were already in the Chen family's territory. Because there was only an area on the map and no terrain, they fell into a river as soon as they came out. What kind of teleportation array did you 2 make? You actually made the exit on the river surface. It was so close that we didn't even have time to react. Yan Jin climbed out of the river and used his spiritual power to evaporate the water on his body. He couldn't help but complain to the 2 of them. We didn't know there was a river here. Sima Yue climbed out of the water. With Wu Lingyu's quick reaction, she was protected by his spiritual power when she fell into the water. Therefore her clothes weren't wet at all. However, Wu Lingyu's clothes were wet. Sima Yue came to the shore. Wu Lingyu brought Hai Shi and Hai Shi up. Hai Shi didn't have much strength and Wu Lingyu went to protect Sima Yue. Therefore he couldn't stop coughing when he came up. It was obvious that he choked badly just now. Cough 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 cough, Hai Shi thought as he coughed. Wu Lingyu was so nice to Sima Yue. His first reaction was to protect her and not himself. Big brother Lingyu, can't you protect us too? Fushi asked as she came out of the water. I don't have the energy, Wu Lingyu said calmly. Everyone, only a fool would believe you. Juan was not wet either. It should be said that he was the only one who did not fall into the water. Before he came out, he already felt that this wasn't a good place. He ran over and wanted to pull Sima Yue away. However, when he saw that Wu Lingyu had protected her the moment he came out, he stopped in mid-air. Everyone, let's pack up and head to the Zhao family's land, Sima Yue said. When the bandit came up and saw Yenya's resentful eyes, he said faintly, you should be glad that this is only a river and not a mountain. If they were in the mountains they would be stuck inside. The feeling would definitely be worse than falling into the water. After everyone rested for a while, the bandit pointed in a direction according to the direction they came from in the map. Everyone flew in that direction. After flying for 2 days they saw a dark goose. As soon as the dark goose saw them, it immediately pecked at them. Let me try. Sima Yue took out a bone flute and blew a song. The dark goose flapped its wings, its eyes unfocused. They flew onto its back and said, take us to the Chen family's land. Chirp chirp, the dark goose flapped its wings and flew towards the Chen family's land with them. With it leading the way, the rest of the journey was much less troublesome. After they restrained their auras, the people on the ground did not know that there were people sitting on the familiar dark goose to cause trouble. The dark goose flew them to the Chen family's land without being discovered once. They came all the way to the clan's land. If they went any further they would probably be discovered. Let's get off here first and observe the situation before going over, Sima Yue said. Okay. They found a secluded place to land and the dark goose flapped its wings and flew away. For safety, she threw Hai Shi into Wu Lingyu's little realm. She originally wanted to throw Fushi in as well, but Fushi said that he wanted to follow. With his strength he might not be able to fight the enemy, but protecting himself was not a problem. The divine dragon's defense could not be compared to the black tortoise's, but it could still be ranked second. After Sima Yue heard his explanation, she agreed to let him stay and only threw Hai Shi into the little realm. They found a place to hide and released the scarlet bees, letting them find the whereabouts of the starfish. Very quickly the scarlet bees sent news over and it was not good news. Chen family's land. A starfish wearing a pink dress was brought to a very large courtyard. She looked around in panic. When the guards on the road looked at her, her weak body would tremble. Go in, seventh elder is waiting for you. The servant girl leading the way said coldly. Why did you bring me here? The starfish stood at the door, not daring to go in. The servant girl did not pity her and looked at her with a fierce gaze. In the beginning, seventh elder was very good to her, but as she grew up, he did not look for her anymore. And her status continued to decline as she grew older, until now she could only be a servant girl. So now that she saw the starfish, how could she not be angry? The starfish was frightened by her glare and took 2 steps back. The servant girl was furious. She grabbed her clothes and pushed her into the house, shouting, Why aren't you going in? Do you want me to be scolded by seventh elder? Get the hell in there. The starfish could not win against her and was pushed into the house. Then the door was closed. Very quickly, other women came out and ignored her frightened eyes. They directly pulled her to the bath and washed her from head to toe. Then they brought her to seventh elder's room. The starfish was tormented by them all the way and did not resist, because she knew that it was useless. She stood in the middle of the room with her head lowered, her small hands clenched and opened and clenched again. Growing up in such a family, she knew what kind of situation she was in. She knew that many people were perverted and there were also many pedophiles. She did not expect to meet one now. She originally thought that these people would wait until she activated her bloodline and then think of a way to escape. But now it seemed that it was too late. She closed her eyes and opened them again, a resolute light flashed in her eyes. If he really wanted to do something to her, she only had one choice. Hai Shi, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I have to leave first. Chapter 1995. The seventh elder of the Chen family, Chen Ming, came into the room and saw the small body at first glance. So weak, so thin as if he could crush her with one slap. She looked up, her deer-like eyes were filled with fear and determination that other children didn't have. I haven't activated my bloodline yet, so it's useless for you to find me now. Starfish spoke first, trying to calm herself down, but she couldn't control her trembling body. The seventh elder put his hands behind his back and stared at her with his handsome face. He smiled. It doesn't matter, we can do those things in advance. When your bloodline is activated, you won't be mine alone. Starfish didn't know if his gaze was too hot or if his words were too frightening, but her legs went soft and she sat directly on the ground. I won't give in to you. She swallowed her saliva and held back her tears. If you do anything to me, I will kill myself so that none of you can have me. If she died, the seventh elder wouldn't be able to explain to the other clansmen. This was her only trump card. Hee, do you think you can die? Qian Ming's voice was also very magnetic, but the words he said were suffocating. Starfish saw that he wasn't a threat at all, and her heart turned cold. Well, people as powerful as them could easily find someone to control her, so how could she have the chance to kill herself? She couldn't even die? The tears in her eyes fell down in the end. You don't have to feel so bad. Many people who followed me ended up liking me and didn't want to leave me when they grew up. It's a pity that I have no interest in them. Qian Ming strode to the bed, looked at Starfish who was still sitting on the ground and said, if you have more self-awareness, you can suffer less. If you want me to do it, your small body may not be able to bear it. Starfish looked up at him, and her hands and her sleeves clenched again. She didn't have anything on her, so she couldn't even die. Hurry up, don't make me wait, Qian Ming urged. Starfish turned her gaze to the table, where the maidservant had just served tea. She got up, but her body didn't have much strength. She supported herself on the stool and saw the teacups. She made up her mind and threw them all to the ground. Bang, the teacup fell to the ground, but it didn't break. Instead, it rolled a few times on the ground before stopping at her feet. Do you want to break the teacup to commit suicide? Qian Ming appeared beside her out of nowhere and whispered into her ear, gently blowing hot air. Ah! The starfish was frightened by him. It screamed and tried to run away, but he caught it and threw it on the bed. Although the bed was very soft, it still hurt her small body from the impact. There are many people who want to die in front of me, but none of them are able to take action. You are the first. Qian Ming walked to the bedside and sat down. He caressed her trembling body. I have to say, you aroused my interest even more. I like meek ones, but I also like kittens with claws. The starfish's body trembled even more, and big drops of tears fell down. She tried to stop herself from crying, but she couldn't stop her tears from overflowing. Hiss. The silk cloth was torn and she felt a chill on her back. She wanted to move but found that she could no longer move. If you are obedient, you will suffer less. Soon you will fall in love with this feeling, Qian Ming said bewitchingly. His hands didn't stop moving and tore her clothes into pieces. The starfish had never felt that this sound was so sharp and ear-piercing. She thought that her life was over. She was turned over by Qian Ming. She looked at the top of the bed blankly and didn't even know that Qian Ming had come over. She wanted to seal herself up. If she couldn't die, then she would let herself be a living dead. Qian Ming felt that her breath was weakening and knew that she was sealing her heart. Anger rose from his heart and he slapped her face. You want to be a living dead? I want you to see with your own eyes how you are being played by me. The starfish's divine sense was pulled back. She looked at Qian Ming's ferocious face and found that she couldn't even cry. Qian Ming's hand moved all the way down. When he was about to reach the forbidden area, she finally showed a frightened reaction. And this reaction pleased Qian Ming very much. When he was about to move down again, there was a sudden fluctuation in the air. He dodged it and flew from the bed to the door. What a shameless person. Huan, control him for me. The cold female voice was filled with cold killing intent. As soon as he stood firm, he saw a beautiful woman appear on the bed where he was just now. She took out a blanket and covered the starfish, leaving only her head outside. The starfish thought that she couldn't escape today's nightmare, but she didn't expect that the situation would turn around. The dirty hands were gone, she was covered, and a gentle voice comforted her. Don't be afraid. When Huan heard Sima Yoyue's order, he immediately attacked Qian Ming. Qian Ming's strength was not weak, and his reaction was quick. When Huan attacked, he broke through the room and escaped. To be able to approach him quietly, it meant that they were very strong. If he stayed in the room, he would only be attacked. If he went out, he could let the people around know and come to save him. Huan chased after him. Sima Yue took out a dress and said, "Change into this." The starfish sat up and took the clothes, but she didn't move. Instead, she looked at her warily. Who are you talking about? Why did you save me? I promised Haishi that I would save you. Sima Yue said. Haishi? Where is he now? The starfish looked at her excitedly. Put on the clothes first. You can't see him like this. Sima Yue got up and went to the door to see the situation outside with her back to her. The starfish took the clothes and quickly put them on. However, she didn't approach Sima Yue. Instead, she stood there and looked at her. Sima Yue said that she promised Haishi that she would save her, but she couldn't believe her words. She didn't know what was going on and couldn't believe her words. If this person also came for their bodies, wouldn't Haishi have escaped from the tiger's mouth and fallen into the wolf's den? Sima Yue turned to look at her and said, This dress is made from my clothes. Make do with it. Is Haishi with you now? The starfish asked tentatively. Yes, but he's not here for the time being. Sima Yue said and turned to look at Huan. As soon as Qian Ming went out of the room, the people outside immediately noticed and rushed up to surround Huan. Kill them for me. Qian Ming shouted. Those people attacked Huan together, but when the underworld skill dissipated, Huan's figure was nowhere to be seen. Qian Ming saw Sima Yue at the door. Go catch her. The starfish just walked to her side and saw Qian Ming. Her body trembled involuntarily. Chapter 1996. The scene just now flashed through her mind again. That kind of despair of not being able to live and not being able to die made her feel cold all over when she thought about it. A cloak was placed on her body and said, Nothing happened just now. You're still you. The cloak still carried her fragrance, faint, but it made her heart calm down. Seeing the guards coming over, she screamed to remind her, They're coming. Don't worry. Sima Yue stood still and didn't pay attention to those people at all. Puff, the guards ran halfway and were penetrated by the black fog. Before they could figure out what was going on, they all fell to the ground. What's going on? This woman is so evil. Don't go near her. They didn't know where the black fog came from or why it was so terrifying, but they were sure that it only appeared after they went to find her. So she must have done something. The black fog came out of those people's bodies and gathered together to form Huan's body. Who are you? The Qin family was stunned. Could it be that he was from the Soul Clan? Huan didn't say anything and flew towards Qian Ming. In the blink of an eye, he brought him in front of Sima Yue. The guards stood in place and wanted to rush over, but they were frightened by the inexplicable corpses on the ground. Miss, what should we do with this person? Huan asked. Sima Yue looked at the starfish. When the starfish saw Qian Ming, she stepped back and hid behind her. Do you want to kill him? Sima Yue asked her. Yes. The starfish trembled and said, but killing him would be too easy for him. Then what do you want to do? Castrate him so that he can never think about these things again. The starfish said. Then do as she says. Sima Yue said to Huan. Huan's movements were very fast. With one move, Qian Ming could only cover his lower body and roll on the ground. The guards were stunned. Did their seventh elder really get castrated just like that? All of this happened too fast. Let's go. Sima Yue walked out. The starfish hesitated for a moment and followed her. Regardless of whether she was plotting against him or not, it couldn't be worse than the situation in the Qian family. When they left Qian Ming's courtyard, Huan, who was walking behind them, waved his hand. Qian Ming's body, which was rolling on the ground, suddenly began to swell. Those people had no idea what was happening to him. Qian Ming's body was getting bigger and bigger, and his stomach was getting rounder and rounder. It was as if someone was blowing at him. Bang! Qian Ming's body exploded into a pile of meat paste. Everyone saw a cloud of black smoke drifting out from the explosion. It looked very similar to the black fog from before. The seventh elder died just like that. In front of that person, he didn't even have the strength to resist. Sima Yue and the others had just left Qian Ming's courtyard when they were surrounded again. Capture the cauldron, kill the rest without mercy. The leader waved his hand, and those people immediately rushed over, surrounding them. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. These people were really slow. If they hadn't deliberately waited, she would have already left before they arrived. I want to see your patriarch. She made her request. Who do you think you are? You're not worthy to see our patriarch. That's right, if you want to see our patriarch, you have to step over our bodies. What are you all waiting for? Go. Huan stood in front of Sima Yue and blocked the attacks of those people. Sixth elder, seventh elder has been killed by them. The guards in Qian Ming's courtyard ran out and shouted to sixth elder, that man is very strange, everyone be careful. You said Qian Ming is dead? Yes, he was killed by these people. This person is too strange. There are a lot of people here. Miss, do you want to avoid them first? Juan said. No need. You don't have to worry about me, just do what you need to do. As long as he didn't care about her, he could do whatever he wanted. Juan didn't have to worry about her safety. Since she had expressed her stance, he didn't have to worry about her and focused on dealing with these people. Starfish looked at those people and clenched her small hands tightly. There were nearly 100 people here and they were only 2 people. Could they beat them? If they couldn't beat them, would she be caught again? She looked back and weighed in her heart whether it was better to follow them or run by herself. After comparing the two, she found that no matter which path she took, it was a dead end. If she followed these 2 people, there might be some hope. Since they dared to break into the Chen family's residence, it meant that they should have some strength, right? If you leave here, you won't be able to walk more than 10 meters. Sima Yue didn't have any thoughts about her behavior. Although she was only 3 years older than Haishi, she was much more mature and didn't trust people casually. Starfish saw that her thoughts were exposed and couldn't help but blush. I'm sorry. She apologized. Sima Yue saw that Juan was dealing with those people alone and wondered if she should take advantage of this time to call Black Shadow and Mou out. Previously, she was with Yan Jin and the others, so she didn't have a good opportunity. Now was really good. And she didn't know how long she would stay here, so the 2 of them couldn't stay here forever. She only thought for a while before calling Mou and Black Shadow out. They knew the situation outside from the Spirit Pagoda, so as soon as they came out, Black Shadow joined the battle. Mou stood beside Sima Yue. Starfish looked at the 2 people who suddenly appeared with some doubts in her eyes, but she didn't ask anything. Mou didn't see Wu Lingyu and felt a little strange. He asked casually, "Where is he?" He went to see if there were any other people who were caught. Sima Yue said. Would he be willing to leave you? There's no other way. If she went too, she would have to let others save Starfish. She was afraid that at that time only her corpse would be saved. With the addition of Black Shadow, these people were quickly dealt with. However, before they could say anything, the sound of fighting came from another direction. It seems that your one has also been found. I didn't intend to leave quietly. Sima Yue said, if I just leave like this, the Qin family will not let me off easily. We have to solve the problem here. Mou raised his eyebrows. Is this the attitude of solving a problem? You don't really want to destroy this family, do you? I wanted to talk to them nicely, but their patriarch didn't come out at all, so I can only use this method. Sima Yue said, if necessary, so what if we destroy the Qin family? The fewer such forces there are, the better, so that they don't stay and harm others. Miss, should we go and take a look? Go. Sima Yue said. Although she wasn't worried about Wu Lingyu's safety, she still had to go and take a look. Those old guys should be coming out soon. Chapter 1997. Who dares to trespass into the Qin family's territory? When Sima Yue and the others arrived at Wu Lingyu's side, an angry rebuke came over, causing Sima Yue's heart to hurt. Net Starfish fainted from the shock and was thrown into the Spirit Pagoda by Sima Yue. This person is not weak. Mou said. Looks like it's an old man from the family. Sima Yue took out a pill and ate it, then saw an old man with white hair and beard walking over. If there's only one, it's easy. Mou felt that the other party's strength was about the same as his, so it shouldn't be a big problem for Juan and the others. However, it was clear that the Qin family didn't only have one old man. Soon, more than 10 old men came over and stood on both sides of that person. Wu Lingyu, Yanju and the others flew to Sima Yue's side and confronted those old men. As expected of the aristocrats of the triangular region, their strength is indeed much stronger than those big families outside. Mou sighed. Not to mention the strength of these clansmen, the number of these old men far exceeded the families outside. It seemed that it would be troublesome to deal with them. Who are you people? How dare you cause trouble in my Chen family? The leading old man, Chen family's elder Chen Feng, shouted. Your Chen family and Zhao family have been chasing us all the way, don't you know who we are? Sima Yue asked. Chen Feng didn't know what was going on. As a family elder, he never cared about the matters of the family and only came out when there was trouble. Family elder, they are those outsiders. They are here to steal the cauldron. The Chen family elder shouted. Steal the cauldron? Then they are here to cause trouble. Where's the cauldron? They stole it, and that woman even killed the 7th elder. What? Ming'er is dead? Chen Feng was shocked and quickly took out Chen Ming's life jade, which was already broken into several pieces. You actually killed my Ming? Chen Feng's eyes were filled with rage. He looked at Sima Yue, and the murderous intent in his eyes was so thick that it was about to melt. I'm going to kill all of you and bury you with my Ming'er clan elder. These people also released the people we locked up. They also killed many of our people. The elder took the opportunity to complain, hoping that the elders would kill them all. How arrogant. Do you think you have the ability to barge into my Qian family? Today none of you will be able to leave. With more than a dozen elders and so many clansmen, the situation had suddenly reversed. Previously, the Qian family had been scared witless by Wu Lingyu and the others. Now they were confident that these people would definitely be killed. Speaking of which, I haven't really tested the power of those ancient war souls. Sima Yue took out the 100 Ghost streamer and said, let's use it for practice today. 100 Ghost banner. The old fellows were all knowledgeable and immediately recognized that this was the long-lost 100 Ghost banner. However, they did not pay too much attention to it. Even if there were ghosts inside, they were just some small fry soldiers and crab generals. It was impossible for them to defeat so many people. Most of the time, strength did not lie in numbers but in quality. For old fellows like them, 1 against 1,000 was a piece of cake. You can finally show us the power of the ancient war souls. Yen Zhao said, quickly call them out. Sima Yue controlled the 100 Ghost banner and called out 100 ancient war souls. At this moment, the ancient war souls had been carefully nurtured by her and already had their own consciousness and memories. However, in their consciousness, Sima Yue was their master. As they had stayed in the ancient battlefield for so long, their killing intent was very strong. The moment they came out, they immediately made people feel a chill. Ancient war souls. The Qian family elders then looked at Sima Yue seriously. With so many ancient war souls, their fighting power was not weak. If she still had them, thinking of this, they could not help but shiver. Seems like everyone knows their stuff. Before coming to this triangular region, I went to the ancient battlefield and obtained these ancient war souls. Sima Yue said, however, I have not used them to fight before. You can help me try it out. With that, the ancient war souls moved and headed towards the Qian family. She did not know how powerful the ancient war souls were, but from the fact that they could send a commander flying with one palm, they could deal with the Qian family. Arrogant brat, you think you can do it with just the ancient war souls? If I kill you first, those ancient war souls will be useless. Qian Feng shouted and flew towards Sima Yue. Wu Lingyu immediately went to stop him from getting close to Sima Yue. The other elders also moved. Huan and Mou joined the battle and each of them pulled one ancient war soul. This time no one will come to help you. An elder flew over. Sima Yue no longer had anyone to protect her. Mier. Bang! The moment Mier appeared, he slapped the elder away and even patted his own hand in disdain. He actually met that person. What a blunder. It was this woman's fault for calling him too late. I will call you earlier next time. Sima Yue said solemnly. It's good that you know. Mier pouted with both hands. When he did this action with his shrunken appearance, it made people have the urge to pinch him. At this moment, someone came over to sneak an attack. Mier turned around and was very angry at this person who did not put him in his eyes. He slapped the person into pieces. Little Black and Little Roar ran back from somewhere. When they saw Sima Yue at the side of the battlefield, they quickly ran over. We found a lot of treasures. Little Roar ran into her arms and said excitedly. Little Black rubbed against Sima Yue's arms. He was also very happy. He had more toys now. Someone saw that she was alone again. Sima Yue sneered. Did these people really think that she had no fighting power and no strength to truss up a chicken? She condensed her spiritual energy and attacked the person who came to sneak an attack on her. She threw Little Roar to Little Black. Nothing would happen to them when they were together. They could even complement each other. When she was fighting, she realized that it had been a long time since she had a proper fight with someone. After coming to the ghost realm, her own strength was not high, but she always met a lot of powerful people. Every time she relied on Huan and the rest to solve it. This kind of fight that relied on her own strength was very rare. She suddenly felt that she had been relying too much on external forces like Wu Lingyu and Huan recently. She needed to adjust her mentality. Perhaps, it would be a good choice to go to the hidden sect to learn and improve her strength. Qian Feng was shot through the heart by Wu Lingyu and lost his life in front of the Qian family. This time, everyone stopped what they were doing. The Qian family was stunned. Their clan elder was killed just like that. Now, only the old ancestor can save the Qian family. Where is the old ancestor? He is in seclusion. We can't find him at all. Remember the mobile version of the website. Chapter 1998. The head of the Qian clan, Qian Xin, was visiting the Zhao clan when he received news that someone had broken into the Chen clan. The moment he heard that someone had broken into the Chen clan and even saved the prisoners, Qian Xin could not sit still and immediately wanted to bring his men back. Is it those outsiders? Zhao clan head Zhao Lifeng asked. It's them. We are still searching here, but they came to my house to cause trouble. Seems like the news this time is not accurate. Qian Xin snorted. The news this time came from the Meng clan. They might have been tricked by those people. Zhao Lifeng said, however they actually went to the Chen clan's land. Seems like they don't want to live anymore. Is my Chen clan a place where they can casually go? Qian Xin said, but I still want to go back. If I can catch them, I can hand Haishi over to you sooner. Then I'll go with you. I'm quite nice to these outsiders, they really have the guts to rely on the Ghost King's support. Zhao Lifeng said. That's good too. You go and bring Haishi back so I don't have to send people over. Qian Xin said. Thus, Zhao Lifeng brought a few men and Qian Xin back to the Chen clan's land. When they reached the clan's land, they sharply felt that the atmosphere was not right. It was too quiet. Not much time had passed since he received the news, so it could only be that the matter had been resolved. But if Sima Yue and the rest were killed, the Chen clan would not be so quiet. Old Chen, why do I feel that the atmosphere is a little strange? Zhao Lifeng asked. Something is indeed wrong, let's go out and take a look. The teleportation array was located in a remote area, so they did not know what was happening here. They had to go out to find out. They had just gone out and were shocked by the scene outside. Chen clan head, you came back so slowly. Sima Yue sat on a wide chair and leaned back as if she was already impatient from waiting. The Chen clan people stood behind her, not daring to even breathe loudly. Breathe loudly? Did they dare? Even the clan elder was killed by her people. You are Sima Yue, Zhao Lifeng said. Patriarch of the Zhao family, you must be surprised to see me alive. Sima Yue recognized Qian Xin and Zhao Lifeng precisely thanks to the second elder's memory. I'm really surprised. People always say that lowly things have long lives. It seems that this is indeed true. Zhao Lifeng did not care about Sima Yue at all. So what if she was the Ghost King's daughter? In this place the three sides didn't care. She really didn't know what the Chen family was doing. Even with so many people they still couldn't kill her. Also, why were they all standing behind her? Could it be that the Chen family was with them and that was why she was safe and sound? Haha, everyone says that the Zhao family's patriarch is narrow-minded and has low moral standards. Looks like it's true. I just don't know if the Zhao family will be more upright without such a family head, Sima Yue said faintly. What do you mean? I mean it literally. You people always like to ask what this means. Your IQ is worrying. Sima Yue shook her head. I wonder what will happen to the two families if the head of the Zhao family dies in the Chen family? Will they still be as good? Don't try to sow discord between us. Qian Xin scolded. What are you all standing there for? Hurry up and kill them. Where's Chen Feng? What is he doing at this time? Patriarch Chen, you don't have to shout. He won't be coming. Sima Yue said. As for me, I've been waiting here for long enough, so I'll make it short. Are you willing to give up on killing us? I don't like to do things like exterminating an entire family. But if you insist on choosing for the sake of peace, I can only do it. Are you threatening me? Qian Xin asked. No, I'm negotiating with you. Sima Yue said sincerely. It depends on whether you're willing to negotiate. As long as you hand Haishi over, I can spare your life on account of the Ghost King. Qian Xin said. Looks like you're still on the Zhao family's side. Sima Yue sighed. But I can't give you Haishi. I'm taking his sister Haixing away too. Then you can only leave your life behind. The moment Qian Xin said that, the Qian family panicked. Fight with them? Wouldn't that be sending them to their deaths? Patriarch. The injured elders walked over. Seeing them, Qian Xin and Zhao Lifeng jumped in fright. What's wrong with you guys? Patriarch, you can't fight with her. Patriarch, Chen Feng has already been killed by them. Other than that, 3 others died. A few hundred of our family members died. We can't fight anymore. Otherwise the entire family will be finished. That's right, Patriarch, you can't fight anymore. What did you guys say? Qian Xin couldn't believe what he heard. So many people from the Chen family died? And 4 clan elders had died as well? Patriarch, it's true. Our injuries were also caused by them. If not for the fact that she didn't want to exterminate the family from the start, we might not have been able to wait for you to return. Qian Xin saw that the elders were all heavily injured and had fear in their eyes. His heart couldn't help but sink. Is she that powerful? This is our family's land. She has the 100 Ghost streamer. There are many ancient war souls in it. We don't know which war they were left behind, but they are all very powerful. She called out 100 of them this time. They said that she has tens of millions of them. Patriarch is just a human cauldron. It's not worth it for us to pay such a huge price. Qian Sen went silent. If that was the case, the Qian family would be in danger now. Sima Yue saw the elders pulling Qian Sen to the side. She wasn't in a hurry and waited for them to speak slowly. Zhao Lifeng was anxious. If the Qian family didn't do anything, wouldn't Sima Yue and the rest escape? Furthermore, they had given the starfish to the Qian family, but they hadn't caught Haishi yet. If the Qian family didn't do anything, how could they catch Haishi? The longer Qian Sen and the elders talked, the more anxious he became. He ignored Sima Yue's lingering gaze on him. After a while, Qian Sen returned. Seeing his expression, Zhao Lifeng knew that he had made the choice he was worried about. He said with a solemn face, "Old Qian, you can't let her go like this. Don't forget that we still have an agreement." "I'm sorry, old Zhao. I have to think about the family." Qian Sen said apologetically, "I think we should forget about the human cauldron." "Forget about it? I spent a huge amount of money to get the two of them, and you're telling me to forget about it now? You got the starfish. What about our Haishi?" Pikif, a long sword pierced through his heart from the back. Zhao Lifeng was stunned. Qian Sen in front of him was also stunned. They stared blankly as the long sword turned into black smoke and dissipated. Net remember the mobile version of the website. Chapter 1999. Zhao Lifeng was dead. Until the moment of his death, he did not know how he died. He was the patriarch of a large clan, he had the strength of a half-step emperor. He had a high status, how could he die in such a situation? His death was too humiliating. No, he never thought that he would die. He wanted to become an emperor. As long as he obtained the cauldrons, he could obtain spiritual energy from them. He could even let them reproduce and create more cauldrons. As long as he had enough cauldrons, he could definitely become an emperor. It was as if he could already see the scene of him becoming an imperial emperor. How could he die here? No matter how unwilling he was still dead. His heart was pierced and his organs were corroded by the Black Shadow's power. If only he did not come to the Chen clan. This was Zhao Lifeng's last thought. It was also the thing he regretted the most in his life. He fell to the ground. Qian Sen then saw the Black Shadow behind him. The Black Shadow looked at him. His eyes were calm, but he could feel the encirclement of death. "You actually sneak attacked." Yenya sneered. "It's fine as long as the result is good. Don't bother about the details." Sima Yue did not feel embarrassed at all. "Besides, haven't you done something like this before?" I'm a villain." Yenya admitted it faster than her, causing her to roll her eyes. "Why did you kill old Zhao? He is the patriarch of the Zhao clan. If he dies here, how are we going to explain to the Zhao clan?" Qian Sen regained his senses and questioned Sima Yue. "It's up to you how to explain. You can say that we killed him. However, I'm afraid they won't believe it." Sima Yue said. Not only would they not believe it. If they walked out of here alive and Zhao Lifeng died here, the Zhao clan would definitely say that they were in cahoots with her. Even if he really said that Sima Yue did it, no one would believe him. However, to keep her here? That was even more impossible. The Qian clan did not even dare to look at her. How could they have the strength to fight with her? No matter what, the Qian clan was definitely going to be the scapegoat. He was afraid that the relationship between the two races would change from allies to enemies in the future. The Qian family and the Zhao family were originally equal in strength. Although the Zhao family's family head had died, the Qian family had also lost 4 family elders and many clansmen. The impact they received was even greater. The only advantage was that they knew in advance that the relationship between the two families would deteriorate, so they were prepared. Qian Sen knew that this was a trap that Sima Yue had dug for the Qian family. She wanted the two families to fight. However, this was also an opportunity. As long as they planned it well, they might be able to swallow up the Zhao family. Sima Yue saw the change in Qian Sen's expression and knew that he was thinking a lot. However, this had nothing to do with her anymore. "If you don't have any objections, we'll take our leave first. I'll take the starfish with me. If anyone else knows that she's here, I think you can guess the result." She stood up, and Blackie walked over with the unconscious starfish. Looking at the starfish, Qian Sen was still unwilling to give up. However, no matter how unwilling he was, he couldn't show it. He cupped his hands towards Yue and said, "You're also injured. Why don't you rest in the family for a few days before leaving?" Sima Yue smiled. Do you really dare to let me stay in your family? Ahem, Qianxin coughed twice to hide his thoughts. Sima Yue dared to stay, but he didn't dare to take her in. Sima Yue and the others left very decisively. Huan opened a space tunnel and left with everyone, not even giving the Chen family a chance to see their backs. Qianxin looked at the Chen family in a sorry state and then at Zhao Lifeng on the ground. He had a headache. Family head, now is not the time to have a headache. We have to come up with a plan. Otherwise, when the Zhao family finds out about what happened today, we'll be in a passive position. The great elder said. You're right. Qianxin was annoyed, but he had to deal with these things. Let the clansmen recuperate first. Then all the elders and elders will go to the meeting hall to discuss our future. What about the corpses of the Zhao family? When Black Shadow killed Zhao Lifeng, Huan also killed the rest of the Zhao family. Now the corpses were still lying on the ground. What else can we do? Of course we destroy them on the spot. Are we going to send them back? Qianxin reprimanded impatiently and turned to leave. The elders and elders of the Qian family left, leaving a few people to clean up the corpses of Zhao Lifeng and the others. Sima Yue and the others left the Zhao family's sphere of influence and found a remote valley to settle down. Unable to find a place to hide, Black Shadow and the others dug a cave at the foot of the mountain. Sima Yue carried the starfish down from Xiao Hei's back and put her on the bed. She examined her, wiped her wounds, applied medicine, and fed her a pill before she was done. When she was done, the others came in. Seeing the clean starfish, Yan raised his eyebrows. Why are you so good to her? Is it because of their system? What do you think? Sima Yue asked him back. It doesn't seem like it. Yan felt that she was not that kind of person, or rather, she was not interested in these things at all. Sima Yue smiled. I just feel sorry for them. Yan felt that it was not the case. Her smile seemed to imply something that he did not know. In fact, she was just thinking about the extermination of the Zheng family and the Shiman family. Two little people had to face such a disaster, and there was such a difficult road to walk. Now that she had encountered such a situation, she happened to have the strength to do so. The starfish had been unconscious in the spirit pagoda for a long time. Now that she was treated, she woke up quickly and heard their conversation. Thank you for saving me. She looked at Sima Yue gratefully. When Chen Feng released his pressure, she saw that Sima Yue was enduring her own discomfort and shielding her. If it were not for Yue, she would not have been able to survive. Since you're awake, have a good rest. Benefactor, where is Haishi? The starfish struggled to get up, but Sima Yue stopped him with a look. Wu Lingyu opened the spirit pagoda and took the starfish out. When Haishi saw the starfish, he immediately rushed to her and cried, Sister, I thought I would never see my sister again. Haishi, I promised to save your sister and now I have done it. You two can talk by yourselves. After saying that, Sima Yue went out with the others, leaving the siblings alone. Half a day later, the starfish came out with Haishi. They came to Yan, knelt down and kowtowed to him 3 times, thanking him for taking Haishi back. Then they got up and came to Sima Yue, knelt down and kowtowed 3 times. The starfish looked up at her with determined eyes. Little princess, please let us follow you. Chapter 2000. Sima Yue looked at the 2 little figures and didn't say anything. Little princess, I know we don't have the strength now, but give us some time and we can grow up. Starfish continued, moreover our cultivation speed is fast. As long as we activate our bloodline we can be much faster than others. Then your family should have a lot of strong people. Why was it so easy to be exterminated? Yanqi said. We. Starfish bit his lips. Those people in the family were used as cauldrons by others. Some of the elders often disappeared suddenly. My mother said that they were captured and used as cauldrons. She also said that she hoped that we would never activate our bloodline. But we don't have any other choice. You can choose whether to activate your bloodline or not. Sima Yue asked. Yes, the family has a secret method that can make us fail to activate our bloodline. Starfish said, but in that case our talent will not be high in the future and we can only be ordinary cultivators. Some can't even cultivate anymore and can only be ordinary people. Does anyone choose to do that? Very few. Our physique cultivates fast and we have few necks. As long as we can grow up, we won't be restrained by others. Compared to ordinary people, this temptation is too great. Indeed, in front of this, without knowing what will happen in the future, it's easy to choose the former. Little princess, please let us follow you. As long as we can grow up, we will be useful to you. Starfish kowtowed and Haishi kowtowed as well. You want to grow up safely under my protection and then take revenge, right? Sima Yue spoke out their thoughts. Yes, I think so. Starfish didn't deny, but as long as we grow up, our lives will be very long. Except for revenge, we will be your people all the time. Sima Yue stared into Starfish's eyes. She didn't dodge, and her small face was full of determination. After a long time she sighed, if you denied it, you and your brother could only wander in this area. She didn't understand what she meant, but Starfish had already kowtowed heavily, crying tears of joy. She saw his sister kowtowing again, so he kowtowed as well. Thank you, little princess, for taking us in. From now on you are our master. We will never betray you or do anything to betray you. As soon as the starfish finished speaking, the power of oath descended from the sky and entered her body. When Shi heard his sister say so, he also swore. Sima Yue felt that Starfish was a sensible person, so she made a vow at this time to express her sincerity. This way he would be able to nurture her without worry. Even if he didn't nurture them, as long as he could protect them, they would be able to grow. Get up. I'll give you guys time and resources. It's up to you how far you can go, Sima Yue said. Yes, master. Sima Yue smiled. Actually, she didn't want them to do anything for her when they grew up. She just wanted to see those people's faces when they saw the siblings grow up, but they didn't dare to provoke them. In addition, it was also to give them a chance to live. Everyone had the right to live, but not everyone had the opportunity to do so. Starfish pulled Shi up. Her heart, which had been in fear recently, was finally at ease. She would definitely grow up and make those who destroyed her clan pay the price. Where do you plan to go after this? Yan Jin waited for her to put them away before asking. We'll rest here for a few days and let Shi recover from his injuries, Sima Yue said. Why are you leaving? If you're in a hurry, we can part ways here. Yan Jin was also the second in command of a large force. He must have a lot of things to deal with. She didn't mind, so she wanted to walk around this area and see if she could find the way to the 9th underworld mountain. I'm fine. I don't really care about anything in this sect. If you want to stay, I'll stay too, Yan Jin said. You make it sound like you're staying for us. Sima Yue pouted. You can say that. Sima Yue snorted. You dare say that you're not staying to understand this area? Of course. Where's the Yin sect? I thought about it. What Bandit said is right. No matter what, as long as they know the whereabouts of the bone flute, I won't have any peace. Why don't I try? If I can go in, I'll see if I can learn something from him. If you can go in, you won't regret it. Bandit said. Sima Yue smiled. She talked to Wu Lingyu after the battle in the Chen family. Both of them felt that she was too anxious. She wanted to save her mother as soon as she came to the ghost realm. However, she wasn't strong enough. So she was very anxious and impatient. If she could go to the Yin sect, she would focus on learning and improving her strength. As for the Northern God Seal, it was useless to verify it now. If it was fake, she would find another way to save her mother. If it was real, they would only tell her the whereabouts of the other 3 God Seals after she broke through to the Underworld Paragon level. So, it was better to wait until she broke through to verify it. Where's the Yin sect? Is it the Spirit Realm or the Ghost Realm? It's useless to tell you the place. When you want to go, we'll take you there. Otherwise, you won't be able to find it. Yan Jin said. Okay. If that's the case, then we have to follow you. This way we can take you there directly after you're done. Up to you. I can't guarantee your safety. Sima Yue said. If you don't attract trouble, I can protect myself. Tisk. Sima Yue rolled her eyes at him. When Starfish knew that they stopped here to let her recover, she was very touched. Although she was following Sima Yue now, she didn't have any status. Shi, we must repay Mistress in the future. Yes. Mistress is good to us. We must repay her. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu huddled together and looked at the map with their heads touching. We left in a hurry when we were in the Chen family. We should have asked them for a detailed map. Sima Yue sighed. If they had a detailed map, they wouldn't have to stare at this abstract map in a daze. This empty area. Wu Lingyu pointed at the area in the middle of the map with his slender fingers. The Jiuyu Mountain should be here. But this area is too big. We don't know where the Jiuyu Mountain is. And we don't know the terrain here. If we go there directly, I'm afraid it'll be dangerous. Sima Yue said, no one has found their place for so many years. This means that the surrounding environment should be very bad. Do you really want to go to the Jiuyu Mountain? Wu Lingyu suddenly asked her. Chapter 2001. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Read book web no pop-up window free to read. Did she really want to go to Jiuyu Mountain? Did she want to go or did she have to go? Sima Yue was stunned, then shook her head. Ever since the old ancestor gave me all his power, there was no such thing as whether I wanted to go or not, only that I had to go. I just didn't expect that it would be here and at this time. So, no matter what, she had to go to Juyo Mountain. If that's the case, then don't bother about her, just go. Wu Lingyu said. Let's go somewhere nearby, then we'll see how to get there. That's the only way. Hopefully there won't be any trouble on the way. The people in the triangular region were too repulsed by outsiders. As long as they found traces of them, they would attract trouble. Luckily there weren't many of them and they were strong enough. Do you plan to bring those 2 children with you? Wu Lingyu asked her. Of course. Sima Yue said. You see Feng'er and you and them, right? They're both siblings and their families were exterminated, and they still have to face so many dangers, so I want to provide them with a good living environment. But if you bring them with you personally, it will bring you trouble. I know there are many people like them in the world, but since I've met them, I'll help. Sima Yue said. As for bringing them with me, I want to see how strong their physiques are. If the danger they bring is too great, I'll consider sending them away. It's good that you've made up your mind. Don't worry, I won't let myself be a good person, I'm not a saint. Sima Yue smiled. She was not that kind of person who would save anyone she met, treat everyone well, and help anyone she didn't know. Then they discussed the route. As they didn't know the terrain here, they chose the closest route. But even so, they had to go around the territories of the 2 clans. And from the signs above, the strength and status of the 2 clans were very different. Because the closer they were to the center, the higher their status. A few days later, the starfish's injuries were completely healed, and they began to move towards the center. However, it didn't take long for the array formation to become unusable. There is a spatial restriction here. We cannot casually use spatial channels and teleportation arrays. Bandit 1 said. In that case, we can only go in from the outside. That's the only way. But if we walk outside, the possibility of being discovered is very high. There's no other way. That's the only way. Go and see if there are any flying beasts. Sima Yue summoned many scarlet bees and quickly sent back a message. In the end, a goshawk was chosen. After being hypnotized, it became their temporary ride. With it leading the way, they avoided many people and passed through the first clan without being discovered. However, their good luck ended at the border between the 2 races. On this day, they had just arrived at the border between the 2 races and were about to switch to a flying beast that was familiar with this area when they were discovered by someone. Moreover, as soon as those people discovered them, they didn't say a word and immediately started shouting to kill them, demanding that they hand over the clear snow lotus. The other party's attack was very fierce and they were caught off guard. They didn't want to attract more people, so they could only escape. It took them a long time to shake off their pursuers. What the hell, where did we get the clear snow lotus? Yanjin scolded. Sima Yue felt that this clear snow lotus sounded familiar. She thought for a while and finally remembered where she had heard this name before. We were implicated by Ruin Valley and the others. She said helplessly. What? I heard Ruin Valley and the others say that they came here for the clear snow lotus. So now it's possible that they got the clear snow lotus and escaped. And we just happened to arrive at this place. Sima Yue explained. Was this the so-called, if you mess around you'll have to pay for it? When they were in the Zhou family, because of their sudden appearance, the Zhou family increased their patrols. In the end, they met Ruin Valley and the others, causing them to be chased around the Zhou family for a long time. At that time she thought that Ruin Valley's luck was really bad. She didn't expect that not long after, this feng shui would fall on them. Everyone, their luck was really good. Then what do we do now? Do we fight? Fushi asked. What fight? If we fight every time we see someone, then we'll be surrounded and killed by the entire triangular region tomorrow. Yan Jin said gloomily. Previously, when they dealt with the Zhao and Chen families, it was because they did something that couldn't be exposed. They could only suffer in silence. But if they killed every person they saw, then all the families here would band together and they would be hunted down no matter where they went. Not to mention spreading the news, it would be hard for them to even survive. Then we can only run? Fushi asked again. There's no better way now. Sima Yue said, let's run one step at a time. Someone's coming. Wu Lingyu said. They're here so quickly? Can't they let us catch a breath? We can't use the void to escape. We can only stay outside. We're not familiar with the terrain here and are at a disadvantage. Naturally, we'll be found easily. Let's not talk about that. Let's go quickly. When they left, the pursuers would catch up and continue to follow their tracks. Run, chase and so on. 2 months later. The pursuers who chased after the aura found nothing and were furious. These people are too cunning. We've been chasing behind them for 2 months and haven't caught up to them even once. These people are quite strong. Do we still chase? If we go any further, it'll be the forbidden area. The leader was silent for a while and said, "Chase, we have to chase. They stole the clear snow lotus. We have to get it back. But if we provoke the 9 Phantom Mountain, we'll be in trouble. If we can't get the clear snow lotus back, we'll be in trouble." That's right. Let's go first. I hope Yao Lao isn't home recently. After saying that, the group continued to chase in the direction that Sima Yue and the others had escaped. Sima Yue and the others were depressed. These people chased them for 2 months and didn't give up. If she wasn't afraid of attracting more people, she would have killed them. She didn't know where they were now and if they were even further away from the 9 Phantom Mountain. They stopped at the bottom of a cliff and caught some fish by the pool. Sima Yue made grilled fish for the 3 little guys. "Little girl, your grilled fish is quite good. Can you give this old man too?" The sudden appearance of a figure made Wu Lingyu and the others wary. They couldn't sense his aura. How strong was this person? "Don't be nervous. He's just passing by to pick herbs and smelled the fragrance. Don't worry, he's not the one chasing you." Yao Lao carried a bamboo basket on his back. There were some herbs inside that emitted a faint fragrance. Chapter 2002. 1 second to remember. Love divided by you? Reading book web no pop-up window free to read. However, his words made them even more nervous. Sima Yue passed the freshly grilled fish to Yao Lao and asked, "Did you see us being chased? Those fellows were making a ruckus outside and now they only saw you outsiders. If they weren't chasing you, who else could it be?" Yao Lao took a bite of the grilled fish and felt that it tasted good. "Your grilling skills are much better than your mother's." Sima Yue's hand paused. "You know my mother? That weird fellow, she took many treasures from me." Yao Lao spat out a fish bone. "You look so similar to her, it's easy to recognize you." "You're Yao Lao?" Sima Yue guessed his identity after thinking for a while. "Ee little girl, you're quite smart." Yao Lao laughed and finished the fish in his hand in a few bites. "So it's Yao Lao, we're sorry for not recognizing you." Yenya bowed to Yao Lao. "Seventh Elder's disciple, where's your old thing?" Yao Lao asked him. "Master's whereabouts are wandering, I don't know. But I think he should be returning to the sect." Yenya heard from his master that he had a good relationship with Yao Lao, so he wasn't surprised that he called out his master's name. "Old grandpa, how do you know that he's 7th Elder's disciple?" Fushi asked. "Give me your grilled fish and I'll tell you," Yao Lao said. Fushi didn't hesitate to give the grilled fish to him and waited for his answer with wide eyes. Yao Lao took the grilled fish and ate it, saying, "I don't know what kind of technique they're from, but everyone has a similar aura. I can tell at a glance." "Just like that?" "Just like that. Little girl, you've learned it too, right? Your body has a bit of that aura. You can even tell?" Fushi looked at Yenya and then at Sima Yue. The two of them didn't have any similar aura. How could he tell? "You're still young, it would be strange if you could tell." Yao Lao said, "When you're as old as me, you'll probably be able to. There's still a long way to go." Fushi hesitated for a while and stopped hesitating. He looked at the fish that Sima Yue was grilling. "Big brother Fushi, you can have mine." Hi, she handed over the half-eaten fish in her hand to him. "No need, you can eat it yourself." Fushi was not interested in fish stained with other people's saliva. Seeing Hesse's disappointed eyes because of his rejection, he rolled his eyes in his heart. However, he still comforted her. "Hesse, you are also very hungry. You eat this first. Yue will be ready soon. I will wait for a while. Hurry up and eat, don't starve." Only then did Hesse smile. Her eyes curved like small crescent moons. Sima Yue roasted several fish at once. She first gave one to Wu Lingyu and Huan, then gave the remaining one to Fushi and 2 to Yao Lao. Then he took a few more to roast. "Yao Lao, why did you pass by here? Don't tell me you were attracted by the smell of my roasted fish. Then why do you think I came here?" Yao Lao asked. Sima Yue took a brush and brushed some oil on the fish. After a moment of silence, she said, "You came here for the clear snow lotus, right?" Yao Lao smiled. It could be considered as a tacit admission. "That's a pity. The clear snow lotus is not with us. We are just taking the blame for the ruined valley," Sima Yue said. "You are so unlucky?" "It's more than just unlucky," Sima Yue sighed. She told him about the things that happened in the Zhou family and here. She sighed, "We can even encounter this kind of thing. Don't you think it's true?" Those who come out to mess around will always have to pay. Ta! Your luck is really good. Yao Lao laughed. Yes, I think so too. Sai, if I really got that clear snow lotus, not to mention being chased for 2 months, even if it was for 2 years, I would accept it. But I don't have anything and I was chased for 2 months. Just thinking about it makes me depressed. After saying this, she sighed deeply. That's not the only thing you have to be depressed about. Is there something wrong? The clear snow lotus is a sacred medicine. Even an old man like me would be moved. What do you think other people will do? Yao Lao stared at her. Seeing her frown, he knew that she had guessed it. Yao Lao, if you came here, it means that other people will come too. We will meet more people chasing us. Yan Jin said. That's right. But this isn't the main problem. Yao Lao happily ate his roasted fish. He pointed out the problem but didn't explain it to them. The main problem is that we don't have that thing. Sima Yue said, when other people ask us for it and we can't take it out, they will definitely think that we can't bear to part with it. They won't believe that we don't have it. What a ruined valley. We've really been tricked by him this time. Yao Lao looked at her approvingly. She was quite quick-witted. If Ruin Valley is still here, then there's still a chance. If he has already left, then it's really troublesome. Fei said. At that time it would be hard for them to argue. Yao Lao, have they already left? Sima Yue asked Yao Lao. We haven't heard from them for so long. Everyone only knows about you guys and not them. Yao Lao said. So, it's highly possible that they have already left. Even if they haven't left, it's hard to connect them now. Sima Yue sighed. It's really troublesome. But what's the origin of this clear snow lotus? Since the clear snow lotus is called a sacred medicine, its effects are naturally varied. The only thing that can move the old man is one of them. It can increase the chances of advancing to monarch. Some people even say that if you get it, you'll be halfway to success. Yao Lao explained to them. How is that possible? Sima Yue shook her head slightly. The reason why we can't advance to monarch is because of the restrictions of the heavenly Tao. It's not something that can be changed with a sacred medicine. Oh, it seems like you even know about the changes of the heavenly Tao. Yao Lao said in astonishment. Although people at their level know about it, as long as there's a glimmer of hope, they will want to fight for it. If they really want to advance to monarch, then they have to fight with the heavenly Tao and change it. Sima Yue snorted. People like them, if their hearts aren't right and their Tao isn't firm, they won't have the chance to advance to monarch. Yao Lao, are you here for monarch too? Yao Lao looked at Sima Yue differently. Hearing her question, he chuckled and said, Monarch or whatever, these old bones of mine don't want to think about it. I'm called Yao Lao because I'm naturally interested in medicinal herbs. It's a pity that I didn't get anything when I chased you all the way here. Oh, I've heard some good principles. Chapter 2003. There's no great principle, I'm just lamenting. Sima Yue sighed. If she didn't know that Aunt Feng had become an emperor, and if she didn't know about the changes in the Tao of Heaven from the Emperor of Qingdao, she wouldn't know about this. If she wanted to pursue the Tao in the future, this had to change. Thinking about the future, there was still a long way to go. Yao Lao, since the situation we're facing now is so serious, can you show us the way? Yan Jin said. I'm just an old man, how can I show you the way? Yao Lao said, if you really want to say it, you should leave here quickly. The sky is high, you can go wherever you want. Aren't we running away with our tails between our legs? That's so embarrassing. Yan Jin didn't agree, it was too damaging to his image. Then do you have a better idea? Yao Lao asked. No. Then it's not. Yao Lao, now that we're here, I can't leave like this. Sima Yue said, do you know where Jiuyu Mountain is? Go to Jiuyu Mountain? That's not a bad idea, but you can't go. Why? Because no one can go now. Yao Lao said, everyone who goes near there is dead. They're all dead? That's right. So don't think about it. Is there no one who can survive? There is one person. Oh, it's your mother. But she couldn't go in. When she came out in the end, she didn't look good, as if she suffered a blow. Yao Lao recalled, I told her not to go, but she didn't listen. In the end, she couldn't go in. That gaze, sigh, that was the only time I saw her cry. Mother, actually cried. Sima Yue muttered. I've lived here for a few hundred years and I've never seen anyone go in or out. So don't think about it. Take advantage of the fact that no one is here yet and leave quickly. If those old things come, I can't protect you. Yao Lao advised. So Yao Lao, you know where Jiuyu Mountain is? Since you're friends with my mother, please take me there. Sima Yue pleaded. As long as she could find the 9 Underworlds mountain, She should be able to enter the mountain and find the 9 underworlds tribe. You're as stubborn as your mother. This was not a good thing. Otherwise she wouldn't have. Yao Lao paused and sighed. Forget it. Since you're the same as her and won't give up even if you don't go, I'll take you there. But if you go there, you won't have time to hide from those old guys. Yao Lao, don't worry. Don't worry about those old guys. Sima Yue was not worried at all. Even if they really came, she had a way to deal with them. When she was at the Qian family, she understood Gu Zhanhuan's strength. The ones she called out were all the weakest among them, but they were still able to fight evenly with the elders. Their strength was needless to say. Among them there were some who were of a higher level. If they were all called out, they might be able to compete with those old fellows. Taking another step back, Huan and Black Shadow could call for the people from the underworld. If that really happened, the existence of the underworld would no longer be a secret. Moreover, she had Qi Yan, top-grade purple lightning, and could pass the tribulation. There would always be a way to deal with those people. Although she had thought of increasing her strength and not relying too much on external forces, the situation was different now. The enemy was too strong, so there was no harm in relying on them again. Thinking of this, she felt depressed. It had nothing to do with her, but now it had become her enemy. Ruin Valley, let's settle this in the future. Yao Lao ate 2 more grilled fish before bringing Sima Yue back to his dilapidated hut. The medicine boy from back then had already grown up, but he was still a medicine boy here. Master, you're finally back. Why did you take so long to pick herbs this time? If you didn't come back, we would have gone to find you and see if you fell down a cliff. When the medicine boy in green saw Yao Lao, he immediately took the basket from him and brought it to the empty space at the side. He flipped the basket over and poured out a small pile of medicinal herbs. Another man in black clothes looked at Sima Yue and asked, Master, who are these people? Master, this lady looks very familiar. The medicine boy in green clothes came over and said, Dark Princess? Her daughter. Yao Lao added, the 2 of you stay here and look after her. We're going out. Master, you're going out? Didn't you just come back? I have something to do. Yao Lao said and left with Sima Yue and the rest. Master is really something. He doesn't even go in to take a seat when he comes back. Every time he doesn't bring us along. The medicine boy complained to Xian Yi. Seeing that Xian Yi ignored him, he shouted, Why aren't you saying anything? Master went to the 9 Phantom Mountain again. Xian Yi said. Master went again? The first time he went, it was because of the Dark Princess. This time he went again. It's so dangerous there. I'm afraid there's something else. It should be very urgent. Otherwise, Master wouldn't have brought people there without even entering the hut. Will Master be okay? Master won't be, but the others might not. I don't know why he's in such a hurry. Yao Lao brought them to the 9 Phantom Mountain. Sima Yue and the rest only then knew that although they had been running away from their pursuers for the past 2 months, they were heading towards the 9 Phantom Mountain. That was why they were not far from the 9 Phantom Mountain. They came to the foot of a snowy mountain. Yao Lao pointed at the snowy mountain and said, The 9 Phantom Mountain is on the other side of the mountain. After going over this mountain, it's a place covered in cold mist. The 9 Phantom Mountain is in the cold mist. However, no one has been able to pass through the mist, including your mother. How do you know that my mother didn't go in? Tom. She didn't have enough time. It's impossible for her to go in. Also, she wouldn't look like she was shocked. I see. If you want to go in, you have to climb this snowy mountain first. There's a space restriction and pressure here. It's not easy to climb in. Yao Lao said. Sima Yue went to feel it. The moment she stepped into the snowy mountain, the space seemed to have some weight. She retreated and said to Wu Lingyu, put them in the little realm first. Starfish and the rest didn't have the strength, so they could only go into the little realm. Let's go. Sima Yue said. Little girl, if you want to die, hand over the clear snow lotus before you go. As soon as he finished speaking, a few people came out of the space one after another. They didn't seem to be affected by the space at all. They're really old guys. They can actually use the space tunnel here. She said in her heart. Before she could speak, she saw many people flying over on flying beasts. Net, remember the mobile version of the website? Chapter 2004. In a short while, Sima Yue and the rest were surrounded by a large group of people. This formation was not inferior to the Qian families. It should be said that this formation was even bigger. Not everyone in the Qian family was powerful. This time, the people who came were all the top figures in the triangular region. It seemed like they all wanted to snatch that thing. These people are not easy to deal with. Yan Jin compared their strengths. Are you confident? If it's just the few of us, I'm not confident. Sima Yue looked at those people. There were still people coming and the number of people was still increasing. It gave them the feeling that all the experts in the region were here. 100, 200, 1,000, 2,000, even if she called out all the ancient war souls, she might not be able to win. It seemed like she underestimated the fanaticism of these people for the clear snow lotus. Yao Lao was also shocked by this formation and started to worry for Sima Yue. Sima Yue, hand over the clear snow lotus. A young lady with white hair looked down at her from the sky. Her gaze was filled with disdain as if she was looking at an ant. I don't have the clear snow lotus. Sima Yue said. Sima Yue, we have already investigated your background. You are the granddaughter of the Ghost King and the little princess that he personally conferred. He dotes on you a lot. You can trigger the lightning tribulation and have many contracted beasts. You also have the 100 ghost banner and many ancient war souls. Another square-faced old man said, however, all these advantages are useless today. Sima Yue, even if you call out all your ancient war souls, you won't be able to defeat so many of us here. Your guards also won't be able to resist so many of us here. They won't be able to delay until the lightning tribulation forms. Sima Yue, you have nowhere to go now. Just hand over the clear snow lotus obediently. I said, I really don't have the clear snow lotus. Sima Yue said, we were chased by you guys the moment we came here. We were confused. The real person who stole the clear snow lotus is Ruin Valley. Nonsense. If you guys didn't steal the clear snow lotus, why did you escape here for 2 months? Why didn't you say so from the start? When those people chased after us, they shouted that they would kill us. We told them the same thing, but they didn't believe us. If we had known this would happen, we would have killed all the pursuers without hesitation. Sima Yue snorted. I say, don't go against these people at this time. Obviously, they have the advantage in numbers. Yan Jin said. They won't believe us no matter what we say, so why do we have to put ourselves in such a difficult position? Sima Yue said. However, if we deal with them and stall for time, we might be able to come up with a solution. If you directly anger him, isn't that the same as destroying your own life? At this moment, Yan Jin felt that Sima Yue was still young. When faced with a crisis like this, she was still lacking in consideration. Bandit 1 sensed the space and said solemnly, they have sealed the space here. Don't you have any other way? Yenya asked. If there's no other way in the end, we can only try that thing. Bandit 1 said. What is it? Fushi asked after hearing his words. Sima Yue and the other two looked over. It's the treasure of our array sect. It can forcefully break the space seal here and create a passage. You can't use that. With your strength, you're not strong enough to activate it. If you suffer a backlash, you'll be heavily injured at the very least, you won't even be able to keep your life. Yan Jin disagreed. If I can't even keep my life in the end, how can I consider this possibility? Bandit 1 said. He didn't want to use that method now, but he had no choice but to use it as a way out. Yan Chi sighed. This was the only way out of desperation. It's not that time yet. There's no need to consider this. Sima Yue said, if you die, how can I ask you about a raise? Although today's situation is dangerous, it's not to the point of no return. Shameless boasting. You think the Ghost King can come and save you? Sima Yue, we don't want your lives today. We only want the clear snow lotus. As long as you hand over the clear snow lotus, we will spare your life on account of the Ghost King. That's right. Our goal today is only the clear snow lotus. If you don't want to die, don't hide anymore. Sima Yue looked at them and pursed her lips, saying, I've already said that the clear snow lotus isn't with me. If you guys want to waste time here, then I can't do anything about it. You guys are all surrounding me who has nothing, but Ruin Valley left the triangular region at this time. You guys can slowly regret it. However, let's not talk about this problem. What's better is, if we really find the clear snow lotus, how are you guys going to split it? There are so many old fellows here, are you going to take a bite each? You don't have to worry about how we split it. Hand it over and we'll naturally decide. There's no use saying this. You won't be able to escape today. The old woman who spoke first snorted coldly, not allowing her to sow discord between them. I'm not thinking of escaping. I just feel that you guys are a little stupid. Sima Yue shook her head and sighed. You guys don't want to find the real clear snow lotus. You just have to find trouble with me. Why don't you take a look at where you are? You want to say the Nine Nether clan? Do you think that will be useful? The Nine Nether clan has already disappeared for 1,000 years. You want to rely on them to protect you? That's simply wishful thinking. That's right. The Nine Nether clan might not even exist on this continent. This place has long been deserted. I think you'd better hand over the clear snow lotus obediently and not make us attack. If we attack, your little lives will be gone. Whether it's useful or not, we'll know once we try. Sima Yue said as she condensed her soul power. When the soul power came out, it didn't attack these people. Instead, it flew towards the sky. No one knew that when she condensed her soul power, the ink lotus on her back shone with a golden luster. It flowed from the root all the way to the petals, outlining every petal. The soul power flew over the snow mountain and disappeared into the cold smoke. It didn't cause any reaction. Haha, Sima Yue, don't tell me you think that attacking the cold smoke will make the Nine Nether clan come out for you? You're dreaming too much. Someone laughed loudly. We've already given you a lot of time. If you don't hand over the clear snow lotus, we'll kill you right now. Sima Yue shrunk her neck and ran into Wu Lingyu's arms, saying, You guys are threatening me. I'm so scared. Now that you've scared me, I remember that I hid the clear snow lotus halfway. I used my special method to seal it and hide it. Without me, you guys won't be able to find it. If you really want to kill me, then come on. It's just a pity that the flower can only rot in the mud. Net remember the mobile version of the website. Chapter 2005. Are you threatening us? Since when did I threaten you? I am talking nicely to you. Sima Yue said. Net, you said that you hid the clear snow lotus. Did you really hide it? We won't believe you. You don't have to believe me. Then kill me and see if you can find the clear snow lotus here. Sima Yue said indifferently. Then let's try. The white-haired old woman was about to attack. Wait. Yao Lao suddenly opened his mouth. Seeing that the old woman was not stopping, he flashed in front of Sima Yue and caught the old woman's palm. The old woman did not think that Yao Lao would make a move. She hesitated for a moment and stopped her attack. She flew back and stopped in midair. She frowned and looked at Yao Lao. Yao Lao, what are you doing? Do you want to go against us for her? Or did she give you the clear snow lotus? That's why she refused to hand it over. Someone angrily accused Yao Lao. If I had truly obtained the clear snow lotus, I would have let you all kill her to silence her. Yao Lao spat and blocked the mouths of those people with a single sentence. Then what do you mean? I am saving you. Yao Lao said. Saving us? Don't joke around. Will we die if we kill her? Didn't you feel that there was something different about her power? Yao Lao asked. When he said that, they realized something and said, it seemed familiar. It seemed a little oppressive. You felt the oppressive aura too? Me too, but because it was too short, I thought it was just my imagination. To be able to make us old fellows feel the oppressive aura, it seems that her power is not normal. Sima Yue heard their conversation and could not help but mock them. Too short to feel it? They were not embarrassed to say that. People with their strength could feel the slightest difference, not to mention such an obvious oppressive aura. These people did not want to admit it because they wanted to kill her without revealing anything. If there was anything, they would just be innocent. If it wasn't for Yao Lao exposing them, they definitely wouldn't have admitted it. Yao Lao turned around and looked at her, saying, Your spiritual energy just now, did it carry the aura of the Nine Nether clan? That's right. Sima Yue admitted. I do have the power of the 9 underworlds. Impossible. The 9 underworlds clan has long since disappeared. How old are you? How could you possibly possess the power of the 9 underworlds? That's right. Impossible. Don't think that we'll let you go just because you're pretending to be a member of the 9th Netherworld tribe. Let me tell you, if you don't hand over the clear snow lotus today, we won't let you off. Not to mention that the 9 Nether clan hasn't appeared for 1,000 years. Even if they were still around, they wouldn't come out to help you. You'd better give up. Yao Lao, get out of the way. Of the 3 regions of the Ghost Realm, only the 9 underworlds reigns supreme. Have you all forgotten? Yao Lao shouted. Yao Lao, when did all these things that you're talking about happen? The 9 Nether clan has long disappeared. There's not even a shadow of them in all these years. Can they still rule the 3 regions of the Ghost Realm? That's right, Yao Lao. With the current strength of the Ghost Realm, you're actually afraid of a person who hasn't appeared for nearly 1,000 years? Have you become muddle-headed? Yes. Yao Lao, I heard that the broken hut of yours is the gatekeeper of the 9 Nether clan. Why, after so many years, is your servile nature still there? The 9 Nether clan hasn't disappeared. They've always been in the 9 Nether mountain. It's just that they haven't appeared because of some matters. However, this doesn't mean that there's no one left. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to carry the power of the Nine Nether at such a young age. Yao Lao said firmly. The broken hut has always been the gatekeeper of the Nine Nether Mountain. It was in the past and it is now. If you want to kill her, you'll have to step over my body. Sima Yue looked at Yao Lao in astonishment. She didn't expect him to be the gatekeeper of the Nine Nether Mountain. She didn't expect him to step forward to protect her at this time. Although this was because she had the bloodline of the Nine Nether, it still surprised her. After all, the Nine Nether clan hadn't appeared for close to 1,000 years. He didn't need to do this anymore. Old Yao. On account of your high status, we didn't pursue the matter of you bringing them here. If you insist on dying, we can fulfill your wish. Although Yao Lao had a strange temper, as long as his conditions were met, he was willing to refine pills. If Yao Lao died, it would be a great loss to them. After all, there weren't many people who were as good at refining pills as him. You'll definitely regret your disrespect to the Nine Nether today. Yao Lao stood in front of Sima Yue and didn't back down because of their threats. He turned his head and said, I'll hold 2 people back in a while. Your guards will hold back some more. Hurry up and run to the surface. As long as you can enter the mist, they won't be able to do anything to you. Sima Yue shook her head. Let's not talk about whether or not I can successfully escape to the surface. Even if I really go, you're all dead. To be able to see the bloodline of the Nine Nether before I die, this old man will die with regret. Yao Lao said. Thank you Yao Lao for your protection, but I'm not used to stepping on other people's lives to survive. Sima Yue said, Huan, I'll have to trouble you. If he finds out, he'll definitely scold me again. Thinking of that arrogant man standing in front of her, arrogantly scolding her about how weak she was and how she didn't cultivate the underworld cultivation method, she felt a headache coming on. Huan nodded. It seemed that he could only contact the other side to send someone over today. He took out a small round hollow ball, infused it with underworld energy and threw it into the air. The small ball was only the size of a walnut, but it made those old fellows quiet down. Several people who were about to attack were blocked. What is this? Those people exclaimed and looked at the small ball with vigilance. This is not something from the ghost realm, nor is it the power of the ghost realm. Those who were present were all old fellows and had seen a lot. Although they didn't recognize what it was, they were very sure that it wasn't from the ghost realm. The small ball stopped in midair and emitted a faint black fog. The black fog drifted around it and formed a circle, slowly forming a whirlpool. The sealed space seemed to have no effect and the whirlpool became a space door. Some different aura spread out from the door with a stronger aura of death. This is. Some people guessed the origin of these auras and were shocked. They even suspected that they had guessed wrong. The underworld, that was a place that only existed in legends. How could it appear here? Did Sima Yue have the support of the underworld? Was that why she dared to be so fearless? Those who didn't recognize it only thought that she used a secret method to open the space and shouted, Everyone quickly attack that small ball. She's going to use it to escape. Net remember the mobile version of the website, M. Chapter 2006. Once they heard that she was going to leave, they panicked. If she really did run away, then they would miss the opportunity to meet Clear Snow Lotus forever. They had waited for so long for it to bloom and someone had stolen it. It was now an ownerless item. If they lost it this time, where would they find it in the future? Where would they find the Clear Snow Lotus to give them the hope of becoming an imperial emperor? Even those who guessed that it was an item from the underworld suppressed their shock and hesitation and rushed towards Sima Yue. With a thought, Sima Yue summoned countless ancient war souls to fight against those people. The battle started instantly and the entire snow mountain trembled. Especially since these people were not willing to let Sima Yue out of their sight, no one went into the void to fight. Soon the snow mountain was filled with potholes. Sima Yue thought that the snow mountain would be flattened due to the intensity of the battle. She did not expect the snow mountain to be undamaged. The energy from the battle was absorbed by something when it reached the snow mountain. Such powerful energy. She sighed in her heart. This was a battle between half-step imperial emperors. Yet they were not affected at all. The Netherworld tribe was indeed powerful. If you are distracted at this time, you will lose your life. The old woman suddenly appeared in front of her and grabbed her neck. From the time Yue killed the previous person to the time the old woman appeared, it was less than a second. It seemed like she had been watching her all this time. You dare to touch me? You are very bold. Sima Yue smiled at her. The old woman felt that her smile was strange, but before she could figure it out, she felt a burning sensation on her palm. In an instant, her hand disappeared. Flames came out from Sima Yue's neck and climbed up the old woman's arm. Her hand disappeared and her arm turned into ashes. What a powerful flame. The old woman was shocked, but she reacted quickly. Almost at the same time when the flame came out, she chopped off her arm from her shoulder and moved away from Sima Yue. It's that flame. The surrounding people felt the temperature of little birdie's flame and the battle stopped for a moment. Fushi was by Sima Yue's side. Although he could not fight with these people, he was protected by the Dragon God's order, which formed a protective circle around him. Although some people had noticed his protective circle, their attention was not on him right now. As long as he killed Sima Yue, he would also be captured by them. When Fushi saw Qi Yan's flame again, he was extremely excited. He wanted to reach out and touch it, but Sima Yue glared at him. Feeling wronged, he withdrew his hand and pursed his lips. He could not be blamed for this. The power of the divine dragon made him feel close to the vermilion bird. What could he do? Sima Yue turned her attention back to the old woman. Although she was missing an arm, she did not look too bad. She was indeed a strong warrior. It had to be said that at their level they were indeed powerful. Even Yen Qi would not be able to escape from her flame. However, she was only missing an arm. A half-step emperor is indeed powerful. It's a pity that you are not an emperor. Otherwise you would be able to resist my flame. Sima Yue said. Too arrogant. An old man at the side was furious. He condensed spiritual energy to cover himself and attacked her. However, when he was less than 10 centimeters away from her, he stopped. It was too dangerous. He felt that if he continued, he would be swallowed by the flame. What kind of flame was this? How could it be so powerful? Her flame is too powerful. Let's not go near her. Attack from afar. The old woman shouted. She does not dare to let the flame leave her. We will be fine if we don't go near her. Sima Yue's eyes darkened. She was right. She did not dare to let little birdie leave her. Once she did, she would be caught by them immediately, just like the old woman. Let's work together to kill her first. Then we can divide the snow lotus. Someone else suggested. Unexpectedly, more than 10 venerables surrounded her. Sima Yue sneered in her heart. So many venerables came to deal with her. These people did not care about their reputation anymore. She looked at the small ball in the sky. The people from the underworld had not arrived yet, but these people were already attacking. It seemed that she could only hide in the spirit pagoda for a while and wait for the people from the underworld to come out. However, if she did that, the spirit pagoda would be exposed. However, at this time it was better to be exposed. It was better than losing her life. Wu Lingyu saw that Sima Yue was surrounded and wanted to rush over. However, he was stopped by Sima Yue. Sima Yue transmitted her voice to him, telling him that she was going to the spirit pagoda. She told him not to come over so that he would not be exposed and get hurt. Wu Lingyu was furious. She actually had the mood to transmit her voice to him at this time? Did she know how dangerous the situation was? However, he did not do as Sima Yue said. Even if he knew that she had a plan, he could not just stand by and watch her get attacked. He defeated his opponent and came to her side in a flash. The two of them were locked in by those old guys. Why are you here? Of course I'm here to accompany you. If there's an accident, I can go with you too. Sima Yue held his hand. Since you're here, I'll reluctantly go in with you. Wu Lingyu smiled. Then you have to protect me. What kind of situation was this? How could they be so intimate in front of so many people? Yan Jin and the others complained, but they could not free themselves to help them. Seeing that she was so confident, she should have a way to deal with these people, right? They thought that it was impossible. With so many old guys locking in on them, even if she had a trump card, it was impossible in front of such absolute strength. Die. More than 10 old guys condensed their spiritual power and attacked together. That majestic power was enough to destroy a part of the world. Just as Sima Yue was about to bring Wu Lingyu into the spirit pagoda, those attacks suddenly stopped in midair. Sima Yue's actions also stopped at the same time. Puchi, a wave of spiritual power dissipated. Puchi, Puchi, under everyone's shocked gaze, more than 10 waves of spiritual power dissipated as if they were never there. It's gone? Fushi widened his eyes and looked around Sima Yue. Yue, you're actually so powerful. What did you do? Why did you use up so much spiritual energy? Sima Yue was also dumbfounded. I didn't do anything. It seems that we've been in seclusion for too long. Now there are people who dare to cause trouble here. They even dare to kill people from the Juyo clan. You really have guts. Remember the mobile version of the website, M. Chapter 2007. The Nine Nether Clan? Could it be that the Nine Nether Clan had neutralized the attack just now? They had not seen them, only heard their voice, and so casually neutralized the combined attack. Was the Nine Nether Clan really that powerful? A commotion came from the snowy mountain. Everyone looked up and saw a group of people wearing black robes appear on the snowy peak. They looked down at everyone with arrogant and disdainful gazes. The Nine Nether Clan. The only people who could appear there and act so casually were the Nine Nether Clan. The younger ones had never seen the Nine Nether Clan before, but those old fellows all knew. The Nine Nether Clan was the true king of the ghost realm through bloodline suppression and spiritual domination. When Yao Lao saw them, his heavily injured body could not help but kneel down sincerely. He cried tears of joy. He knew that they were still here, so he had to guard this place well for them. Yao Lao, it's been hard on you. The man in the lead waved his hand, and Yao Lao flew up to the snowy mountain. They could actually do this. Ignoring the restrictions of space and gravity, they brought people up just like that. The people here had never seen the Nine Nether Clan before, but they had climbed the snowy mountain here before, so they knew what kind of environment it was. This action made them feel respect for the Nine Nether Clan. What a powerful person. Chan Jiao ignored the changing gazes of those people. He looked at Sima Yue and said, "You were the one who released that power just now? Who are you? What's your name? Whose bloodline did you leave behind?" Sima Yue looked at his icy gaze and let go of Wu Lingyu's hand. She took 2 steps forward, closed her eyes, and began to circulate the netherworld energy in her body. The black lotus behind her flourished with golden light, penetrating her clothes and enveloping her in golden light, making her look pure and holy. When the people of the Nine Nether saw the golden light behind her, they all changed their indifferent expressions and looked at Sima Yue differently. This is a golden black lotus. Only those with the purest bloodline could release such dazzling golden light. Her netherworld energy. Chanjiu suddenly lost control and screamed. He flew down from the snow mountain and landed beside Sima Yue. He grabbed her hand and asked, "Where did you get your dark energy from? Are you sure you want to say it here?" Sima Yue retracted her underworld power and asked. Chanjiu pursed her thin lips and stared at Sima Yue, trying to figure something out. But her gaze was very calm, making him unable to see the bottom of it. "Let's go." He grabbed her hand and pulled her up the mountain. "These people want to kill me." Sima Yue did not move as she pointed at those people. "Scram!" Chanjiu Chao shouted at those people. He released a force from his body and sent those unprepared people flying. Sima Yue widened her eyes. This person was too powerful. Although they weren't prepared, those were exalted realm experts and half-step imperial emperors. How could he force them back so easily? "Our bloodlines naturally suppress them," Chanjiu explained. At the same time, he was also looking down on her for not knowing how to use the power of her bloodline. "These are my friends." Sima Yue pointed at Wu Lingyu, Huan, and the others. When she saw that Chanjiu had no intention of relenting, she said, "I will answer your questions, but you have to protect their safety. How dare you negotiate with the people of Juyo? Do you think that you are from Juyo just because you have the bloodline of Juyo?" Chanjiu's voice was cold. "Because I have a trump card," Sima Yue said. Chanjiu narrowed his eyes. "If they can reach the top of the mountain, they won't be able to do it." "What about these people?" She pointed at those people who came to kill her. Chanjiu just glanced at them, making them feel pressured. "Why aren't you leaving? Why don't you stay here forever?" The younger people had the intention to retreat. This person was too powerful. He was protecting Sima Yue. They had no chance of winning today. But those old guys were unwilling to leave. The temptation of the clear snow lotus was too great. Without it, they really didn't know if they could still advance to the Imperial Emperor level. However, the people of Juyo actually existed and were so powerful. If they killed them, there would be endless trouble in the future. Sima Yue saw their changing expressions and said, "I said that the clear snow lotus is really not with me. If you don't believe me, you can wait here. Before I go down the mountain, you can check if the outsiders have left." The commander of the Ruins Valley under the Soul Society's General Qi, he might not have left the triangular area yet. "Yes, anyway, Yue will not be able to come down for a while. You can go and check," Fushi said. "If not, you can stop her here." "Why aren't you leaving?" Chanjiu glanced at them. He was not angry. They hesitated for a moment and left with their people. Only a few people were left to watch from afar to prevent Sima Yue from escaping. Sima Yue saw that those people left and heaved a sigh of relief. She hoped that they would be able to find the Ruins Valley. That way she would not have to be the scapegoat. "Let's go." Chan Jiao grabbed her wrist and Wu Lingyu grabbed his. The two of them faced each other. I will leave from here with them. Sima Yue said. Why don't you bring them back with you? Outsiders have to go back by themselves. He meant that there was no way to make an exception. Then wait at the top of the mountain. We will be there soon. Sima Yue said. Woman, don't push your luck. Chan Jiao was furious. Everyone present felt a wave of pressure. They're my friends. I want to go with them. If you don't want to wait at the top of the mountain, you can come with us. Sima Yue said. Don't waste time. If I leave earlier, I can go earlier. Chan Jiao finally let go of her hand. He looked at the empty tunnel and said, if the people of the underworld do not want to cause trouble, then don't come out. After saying that, his figure flashed and he returned to the top of the snow mountain. Huan took the small ball back and the empty vortex tunnel quickly closed. Those who had already arrived here could only go back. She just didn't expect that this man could see that there were people from the underworld hiding here. Let's go. Sima Yue walked towards the snow mountain. Actually, you don't have to do this. Yan Jin said. Their eyes are too arrogant. If they leave you guys like this, I don't know what will happen. Sima Yue was worried about Wu Lingyu and Huan. As for Yan Jin, he was just a bystander. I really didn't expect that the Netherworld clan would come out for you. I think that person cares a lot about you. Are you their young master who was left outside? Who treats their young master like this? I just know what they want to know. Sima Yue thought of the ancestor of Dragon Reflection Mountain and her grandmother. She wondered what it was like on the other side of the mountain. Net remember the mobile version of the website, M. Chapter 2008. At the foot of the mountain, it was just that they couldn't fly and there was also the pressure of gravity. As they climbed up, the gravity became heavier and heavier, and it was difficult to even lift their feet. Moreover, the higher they went, the more difficult it was to mobilize their spiritual power. It seems that spiritual power can be suppressed here. Yenya was so tired that he was panting. If you pay more attention to training your body and don't rely too much on sound attacks, it won't be so tiring. Fei was much better than him, but it was a little difficult for him to speak. That's right, brother Yenya, you usually play too well, so you need to train your body. Fushi said meaningfully without panting. Yenya's mouth twitched. It was fine if it was Fei, but why did this little guy look so much better than him? Fushi snickered in his heart. A large part of the strength of his body now was due to Sima Yue's lightning. At that time he felt pain, but now he realized the benefits. Another part of it was the dragon god's power that was tempering his body. Although it was relatively slow, over time, the strength of his body would definitely not be comparable to that of an ordinary person. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu were much more relaxed. Both of them were souls and were cultivating the soul refining art, so the pressure didn't make them very tired. The most relaxed ones were Huan, Black Shadow, and Mou. Mou seemed to have a way to resolve the gravity, but Huan and Black Shadow ignored it directly because it didn't affect them at all. Yenya and the others were envious. The snow mountain wasn't high, but it took them more than half a day to reach it. Chan Jiao and the others who were waiting there were almost impatient. If it wasn't for the fact that he was familiar with her underworld power, he would have done Sima Yue on the spot. He condensed a few bubbles in his palm, and the bubbles grew bigger and bigger until Yue and the others were all inside. Let's go. He waved his hand and the bubbles flew up. Sima Yue and the others flew into the cold smoke in the bubble. He couldn't see anything inside, only a hazy mist. She tried to use her divine sense and found that the cold smoke would suppress her divine sense, and she couldn't detect anything more than 100 meters away. If there was no one to lead the way and he passed through the cold mist, he would only get lost. Yue, there are a lot of white bones below. Fushi looked at the white bones on the ground and called out to Sima Yue. They were not flying high. Sima Yue looked down and saw piles of bones on the ground. These are the people who tried to reach 9 Phantom Mountain, Chan Jiao said coldly. Maybe these people are really looking for you? Sima Yue thought of her mother. Did she almost become one of them? The cold smoke will reflect the inner thoughts of these people. If they only came to ask for help, someone would guide them out. If they had bad intentions, there would be no one to guide them. Whether he can stay or leave will depend on his luck. What about my mother? Sima Yue asked. Yao Lao said that my mother came here a few years ago. Were you the ones who let her out? A few years ago? Chan Jiao thought for a while and said, very few people came here in the past few hundred years. I remember that only one woman came. But that was the Lord who went to see her. We didn't see her. Lord, could it be her grandmother? You will see her when you get there in a while, Chan Jiao said. The Lord sent a message to bring you there directly when you arrive. Oh, Sima Yue replied and stared at the white bones below in silence. From Chanjiu's words, her grandmother was most likely a high lord. What she couldn't understand was why she married the Ghost King and left the palace. Yao Lao said that her mother was traumatized when she came here. Her grandmother must have said something to her. After flying for a long time, they came out of the cold smoke and came to a place with beautiful mountains and clear waters. The bubble burst when they came out. Luckily, they reacted quickly and steadied themselves, not falling down. They continued forward, flying through a large forest and then following a river. The river was filled with lotus flowers, similar to the ones on her back. They followed the river into the mountain and came to the foot of the mountain. Chanjiu brought them down. We can't fly at the back. We can only walk up. Sima Yue looked up at the sky that reached the clouds and said, "Is this the 9th underworld mountain?" "Yes. Just looking at this mountain makes one feel awe. It is indeed the 9th underworld mountain." Bandit 1 looked at the 9th underworld mountain with reverence. This was the place where the true ruler of the ghost world lived. It had an ancient heritage that made people feel awe. "Let's go. The Lord is waiting," Chanjiu said and walked to the front. The people who followed him out dispersed and went to do their own things. They walked halfway up the mountain and went around to the back. They saw many houses scattered on the mountain. Chanjiu brought her to the house at the top. It was very quiet along the way, as if there was no one in those houses. "Usually, everyone is cultivating or dealing with their own matters," Chanjiu explained. Sima Yue looked at him and realized that although this guy was cold, he had a good heart. They came to the main hall. The servant girl who was guarding outside bowed to Chanjiu and said, "Right, emissary, the Lord wants you to bring people in directly. Only Miss can go in, the rest please follow me." Sima Yue nodded at them and they left with the servant girl. Another servant girl led them in. Sima Yue sized up the place without leaving a trace. It was very grand and simple. In the main hall, a woman in black was burning incense. Smelling the fragrance, she felt refreshed. The woman felt Sima Yue sizing her up and raised her head to look at her. Sima Yue finally knew who she and her mother inherited their looks from. The woman in front of her was 40% similar to her, but her makeup and arrogant gaze made it less similar. If one didn't look closely, they wouldn't be able to see the similarities. "Lord, right emissary and miss are here," the servant girl said. "Greetings, Lord. The people outside have already been taken care of," Chanjiu said. "Thank you for your hard work, right emissary." Chan Shan spoke in a cold and arrogant voice, different from Feng Ruyan's languid and casual voice. "This is what I should do," Chanjiu responded and then retreated to the side. "Sima Yue, do you know who I am?" Chan Shan looked at Sima Yue and asked. "You are maternal grandmother, right?" Yue greets maternal grandmother. Sima Yue curtsied as she spoke. "I didn't expect that your mother didn't activate the power of her bloodline, but you did." Chan Shan waved at her. "Child, let me see your black lotus." Sima Yue walked over. Chan Shan looked at the servant girls and they pulled a screen over, isolating Chanjiu outside. Sima Yue hesitated for a moment and took off her skirt, revealing her back. Chapter 2009. The 9 petals were in full bloom, and each petal was like a completely independent entity, yet they also contained each other. "It's actually the supreme ink lotus." Female official Xiao He couldn't help exclaiming when she saw the black lotus on Chan Shan's back. Outside, Chanjiu heard her exclamation and looked over in surprise. Thinking that this wasn't good, he quickly averted his gaze. Chan Shan stared at that black lotus and reached out to stroke the petals. Sima Yue's body instantly tensed up. She retracted her hand with an excited expression. The supreme ink lotus, after so many years, it finally appeared again. Sima Yue wasn't used to so many people staring at her, so she turned around and asked, "Are you done? Put on your clothes." Chan Shan's tone was much more cordial. Sima Yue put on her dress properly, and the maidservant removed the screen. "Lord, is it really the supreme ink lotus?" Chanjiu asked excitedly. "Yes." Chan Shan nodded with a smile. "This is really great." Chanjiu wanted to tell his clansmen this news, but he remembered that there were still things he hadn't said, so he could only suppress his emotions. "Lord, Mrs. Nether Energy is also different. What's wrong with her nether energy?" "Lord, take a look for yourself." Chanjiu didn't know how to describe her nether energy, so it was best to let them see for themselves. Sima Yue released the nether energy in her body, and that familiar aura and pressure made Chan Shan stand up from her seat. This is... She looked at the nether energy in Sima Yue's body. How, Lord, this nether energy isn't. Xiaohe's eyes widened. Could it be that we sensed wrongly? No. This is grandfather's nether energy. Chan Shan said with certainty. She grabbed Sima Yue's hand and asked her, why do you have grandfather's nether energy in your body? Where is he now? You don't know where he is? Sima Yue asked. Chan Shan shook her head. When grandfather disappeared, we couldn't find any traces of him anywhere. We suspected that he was no longer on this continent, but we couldn't find him on other continents either. Old ancestor used to be suppressed in Yilin continent's Dragon Reflection Mountain. Now, he's no longer there. Sima Yue replied. She told him about how she met the old ancestor when she was young, how the old ancestor had saved her soul, and how the old ancestor had passed the underworld energy to her. When the people in the room heard this, they were so quiet that they forgot to breathe. After a long time, Chan Shan sighed. Although I guessed it long ago, hearing it with my own ears is another matter. Grandmother, don't be sad, Sima Yue said as she reached out to hold her grandmother's hand. Chan Shan patted her hand. Since the old ancestor has passed the underworld energy to you, he has extended his life to you. Grandmother was not sad. I'm glad that you've brought us hope. The old ancestor said that the Nine Nether tribe will regain its glory in the future. Sima Yue comforted. The ancestor trusts you. Our tribe is now. Chan Shan paused and said, I won't tell you this for now. You'll slowly understand in the future. Chanjiu, pass down the order that the Supreme Black Lotus has appeared. The entire tribe will return and welcome Yue. Yes. Chanjiu went out. He couldn't wait to tell the tribe this news. How many years had it been? Finally, a Supreme Black Lotus had appeared. The Nine Nether tribe would all have a black lotus pattern on their backs. The more petals there were, the purer their bloodline power was, the better their talent, and the higher their future achievements. However, no nine-petal black lotus had appeared since some time ago. Even the old ancestor and the High Lord only had 8 petals. He didn't expect that she actually had the Supreme Black Lotus and the old ancestor's underworld energy. With the two together, she could quickly grow up and lead the Nine Nether tribe to glory again. High Lord, I'll go arrange a place for young Miss to stay, Xiaohe said. All right, clean up the courtyard next to mine, Chan Shan ordered. Yes. Xiaohe went out. Only the grandmother and granddaughter were left in the house. Sima Yue sat upright in her seat. She had questions in her heart, but it wasn't good to ask. What do you want to ask me? Chan Shan saw through her thoughts. Sima Yue hesitated for a moment, but still decided to ask her questions. Grandmother, why did you give birth to mother with grandfather? Why did you leave mother behind in the palace? Why did mother return disappointed after coming to the Nine Nether Mountain? Actually, it's not that you don't care about mother, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't know about her and wouldn't know my name the moment you saw me. At the mention of you, Kuluo, Chan Shan's gaze was apologetic and lonely. Your mother hasn't activated her bloodline, so she can't be involved in the matters here. She's not from this world, so it's best to not involve her. Chan Shan said, so, when your mother came that time, I met her outside and told her not to come here again. Mother must have come full of hope, that's why she was so devastated. Sima Yue said. Although I left after giving birth to her, I've always been paying attention to her situation. I saw that the Ghost King doted on her and let her do what she wanted to do. It's enough to know that she's living a good life. Chan Shan said sadly. She only had one daughter in this life, how could she not miss her? But she had her own things to do, so she could only leave her. The Nine Nether clan hasn't appeared for close to 1,000 years. How did grandmother and grandfather give birth to mother? Sima Yue asked. This is also something from the past. The Nine Nether clan once made a promise and I'm there to fulfill it. Even without me there will be others. Regarding this she didn't say much. It was just a transaction back then. Chan Shan walked out, Sima Yue followed. The grandmother and granddaughter walked up the Nine Nether mountain. Then why hasn't the Nine Nether clan appeared for close to 1,000 years? It's mainly because grandfather went missing. On one hand we have to look for him and on the other we have to fight against the enemies. We're a little powerless. Also you heard it just now. The Supreme Black Lotus hasn't appeared for many years. Our status has also dropped a lot. Chan Shan looked at her. If you were just an ordinary person like your mother, I wouldn't be telling you all this. But since you have this talent and inherited grandfather's underworld energy, you're destined to walk this path. I know. My soul was saved by old ancestor, and my strength was also given to me by her. So I've never thought of running away from my responsibility. Otherwise I wouldn't have come here. Sima Yue said. You're a good child. Chan Shan looked at her with a different gaze from before. There was more affection in it. This path will be very difficult. It will be filled with danger and thorns. You have to be mentally prepared. Is it those ancient clans? Sima Yue asked. Seeing Chan Shan looking at her, she pursed her lips and said, Actually, I've seen them all. Nah. Chapter 2010. Chan Shan stared at her, knowing that what she saw was not something ordinary. What did you see? The origin. The origin of the 9 Netherworld clan. To be exact, the origin of life. Sima Yue stood at the top of the mountain and looked into the distance. She saw the river flowing out of the 9 Netherworld mountain and the black lotuses swaying in the wind. I saw how life originated from that river, how it evolved and how it disappeared from there. Of course, I also saw the black lotuses growing from the river. Chan Shan was shocked. Where did you see it? In the Chaos World, in that river. Sima Yue said. Ming said that it was the origin of life, the origin of this world. However, they all left the Chaos World and not many people can go there now. I didn't expect you to go to the Chaos World. It seems like you are indeed a person with luck. Chan Shan was shocked by her fate and felt sorry for her. I know that there are even more powerful worlds in this plane. Although those ancient clans have left, they still have to find a place to stay. I don't know why they left. I think people have forgotten that life originated from the Chaos World. Sima Yue sighed. You are right. Those ancient clans do live in another place. Only a few people know about it. My clan used to have a high status there, but now. Chan Shan's aura changed slightly. There was no need for him to continue, Sima Yue had guessed it. However, a starving camel is bigger than a horse. Although those flies are annoying, they can't really do anything to us. Therefore, you don't have to do anything now. You just have to grow up well. You are our hope in the future. Sima Yue knew that she was too weak now and did not need her to do anything. However, she would need to do something in the future. You can stay in the clan from now on. Here, you can get better cultivation resources. I have the underworld energy of the ancestor, so I don't need too much experience to cultivate. What I need to do now is to raise the level of my thoughts. Sima Yue said, if I can't keep up in terms of my knowledge and level, it will be the biggest obstacle to my future cultivation. You are well aware of your situation. Furthermore, I'm going to save my mother. Therefore, I can't stay in the clan forever. Sima Yue said. Your mother's current situation is still all right. You need to increase your own strength. Grandmother, you've seen my mother? Sima Yue was surprised. Didn't they say that no one could enter the place where her mother was imprisoned? Then how did she know that mother's condition was not bad? More than 10 years ago, after I returned to the ghost realm, I went to see her. Chan Shan said, she's my daughter, how could I not care about her? How is mother's situation? You've lost a lot of your sharpness. She was referring to the difference between the two meetings. Perhaps it's because she's a mother that she's restrained her temper. Is she hurt? Were you hurt by the seal? No. It was just that he was trapped there and had no freedom. Other than that, he was fine. Your grandfather changed the seal, so it's fine. Grandfather went? Didn't you say that he couldn't see mother? Back then, one of the conditions for her mother being imprisoned in the abyss of hell was that he couldn't save her. Didn't he go back on the agreement? He went there secretly. He wanted to go there, and the abyss of hell turned a blind eye to it. Chan Shan said, but he couldn't do anything about that ancient seal. He could only let her live a better life. Grandfather pretended not to care about mother. Actually, it's still very good. Sima Yue smiled. Yin Lin said that only I can save mother. Grandfather said that I need to gather the 4 corners divine seal to break that seal. So I'm going to look for the 4 corners divine seal. The 4 corners divine seal is an ancient artifact. With your current strength, you're still unable to activate its power. You're also unable to get close to the place where your mother is imprisoned. That's why grandfather said that he won't tell me the whereabouts of the 4 corners divine seal unless I break through to the underworld paragon level. Sima Yue sighed, but I feel that after I came to the ghost realm, my strength increased too quickly. My realm can't keep up. I need to stabilize myself now. Originally, I wanted to train myself, but because of an accident, I came to this area. Tell me, what have you experienced in the world of spirits and souls? Sima Yue told him about her experience. Growing up to where she was now in a short 10 years was indeed too fast. Chan Shan listened to her story and smiled. It's indeed a little fast. Even with grandfather's underworld power, this speed is still too much. And when you were in the human realm, your strength didn't reach the peak. Your realm is not enough, which will affect you greatly in the future. I plan to go to the hidden sect to study and stabilize myself. Sima Yue said, if they're willing to let me enter. The hidden sect is not a bad place. Chan Shan knew some things about the hidden sect. Seems like you've arranged everything after that. You're just like what they said. You're a very opinionated person with a plan. I was still a little hesitant before, thinking that I would let mother be imprisoned for a longer time. Now that I know that she's not suffering there, I can go and study in peace. Sima Yue said. I'll send someone to protect you secretly. Sima Yue wanted to say no, but it was impossible. Since they knew that she had awakened the supreme bloodline, the 9th Netherworld clan would not leave her alone. Stay in the clan for a while. Okay. The two of them stood at the top of the mountain. The previously quiet 9th Netherworld mountain was bustling with noise and cheers. It seemed like they knew about Sima Yue's situation. The clan hasn't been so lively in a long time. Chan Shan said, your arrival has brought life to everyone. I thought everyone was as cold as the right emissary. Sima Yue teased. Chanjiu can't go there. He can only stay here to guard 9th Netherworld mountain. He doesn't meet many people, so his personality has become cold these years. Chan Shan said, actually he was much more cheerful in the past. No wonder I felt that he was arrogant and warm-hearted. Sima Yue smiled. Let's go. They're all here. Let's go down and meet them. Chan Shan said. Okay. Sima Yue followed her down the mountain. Before meeting those clansmen, she suddenly asked, maternal grandmother, is 9th Netherworld mountain the continent that leads to the other side? Yes. However, only you can take this path. Those without the Black Lotus bloodline will not be able to pass. Chan Shan said, if the others want to go, they can just follow that little boy beside you. He's from that side. Nah. Chapter 2011. Sima Yue knew that Fushi was from that world. But she didn't expect that his world was the place Chan Shan was talking about. That child is the holder of the Dragon God token. He has a very important position there. Chan Shan said, it's rumored that he won't live for long, but it looks like he's in pretty good condition now. Did you help him resolve the problem? Yes. It seemed that Fushi was a very famous person there, which also meant that his position was high. Otherwise, the people over there wouldn't have ignored the great temptation of the Dragon God token and let him live until now. However, she didn't want to care about the matters over there right now. What she needed to do now was to settle down and improve herself. Lord. The 9 Netherbird clans people ran over and excitedly surrounded them. Miss really has the Supreme Black Lotus? Yes. That's really great. There's hope for our clan's revival. I thought that Lord Right Emissary was joking with us just now. I didn't expect it to be true. Lord Miss is your granddaughter, right? Will she be our Miss in the future? Yue will be our clan's young lord in the future. Chan Shan said, do you have any objections? No, of course not. Not only us but the other clansmen also won't have any. After so many years of waiting, we've finally gotten it. That's right. In the future, Miss will be our young lord. Lord, can we feel the power of the Supreme Black Lotus? Sima Yue discovered that although Chan Shan was still cold and arrogant when she was with her clansmen, there was still some doting in her eyes. She loved her clansmen, right? It was just that she had too many things to deal with, which made her seem cold and aloof. Hearing her clansman's request, Chan Shan turned to look at her, seeking her opinion. Sima Yue was infected by their emotions, and the corners of her lips curled up. Why not? She mobilized her spiritual energy, and the black lotus on her back started to burn, emitting a dazzling golden light. It's really the Supreme Black Lotus. I can feel it. I can feel it. Such pure pressure. Really? Many people cried tears of joy. After waiting for so long, there was finally hope. Young Lord. Young Master. Don't be like this. You'll scare her. Chan Shan said. Yue is already here. We can talk later. My lord, we are going to hold a celebration. We have to celebrate that we have a young master. All right. That night, a celebration was held at the foot of the 9 Nether Mountain. Sima Yue felt their enthusiasm and joined them. Wu Lingyu and the others were also invited as young master's friends. In the latter half of the night, Sima Yu and Wu Lingyu secretly left the banquet. Did you see their expressions when they found out about our relationship? You really want to eat me up? Wu Lingyu looked at her pitifully. Hee, they obviously wanted to tear you into pieces. Sima Yue laughed so hard that she bent over. They think I'm not good enough for you. Wu Lingyu sighed. Sigh, I'm being despised. Didn't he accept you after that? That's because he knew that I followed you here. He didn't want to chase me away. The ending is good. Don't worry about the process. Sima Yue laughed as she kissed his neck. Those people only accepted him because they knew how much he had done for her. The main reason was that she liked him and had decided on him. They couldn't do anything about it. Moreover, he was very strong. Some of the young men in the clan were not convinced and challenged him to a duel. In the end, he won in a few moves. After they came down, she asked him why he didn't go easy on them. He raised his eyebrows. If I don't show them how strong I am, will they be willing to hand you over to me? All right, the weak would be looked down upon. How long do you plan to stay here? Wu Lingyu hugged his waist. The two of them looked at each other. I'll stay here for 2 months. I just met grandmother. I still want to spend more time with her. If I leave, I don't know when I'll be able to see her again. Sima Yue said. But if the Yin sect doesn't want me, then it's not certain. We're so talented. They won't abandon us. Those sects are up to us to choose. Wu Lingyu said narcissistically. Narcissistic? Sima Yue laughed. I'm going to learn sound attacks. What are you going to learn? I'll learn whatever's closest to you. Wu Lingyu said. All right. With you by my side, I'm not afraid of anything. Sima Yue said and kissed him on the lips. After that, Sima Yue gradually familiarized herself with the matters of the 9 Netherbird clan. She understood their history and techniques. When Chan Shan was free, she would accompany him to talk and chat. When she talked about him, she would walk around the clan. When she talked about the Foam People's clan land, the 9 Netherbird clan had fewer people. It didn't feel like a big clan. No matter what the people in the clan were doing, they would stop what they were doing when they saw her and greet her warmly. Sima Yue would also stop to talk to them for a while and feel their lives. Yan Jin looked at these people who lived peacefully and said, I always thought that the real ruler of the ghost realm would be very arrogant. Looking at it now, the average person is more down to earth. It's indeed different from what we thought. Fei Yi said. But there's one thing that we didn't think wrongly. These people are indeed very strong. Even the average clansman can cultivate faster than others. The 9 Netherbird bloodline is indeed powerful. It's not like we didn't gain anything this time. Although we didn't get the ancient war soul, we saw the bone flute and the 9 Netherbird clan. It's not bad. Yan Jin said. Yue said that we should leave here and go to the hidden sect. To be honest, the environment of the hidden sect will cause a lot of trouble if we go there. The hidden sect doesn't care about the matters between the disciples. We still have to tell her beforehand. Fei Yi said. Don't worry. She guessed it long ago. Yan Jin was not worried. She's such a smart person. She knows even if we don't mention it. However, she doesn't care about it either. Even if it's us, we might not be able to win if we fight her alone. Not to mention those who are still in the hidden sect. Anyone who dares to provoke her will be tortured by her. That's true. Sigh, it's a pity that we've already finished our apprenticeship. We don't have much time in the hidden sect. We can't see how she can turn the hidden sect upside down. Fei Yi chuckled. Tell me, how can there be such a person like her in this world? Some people are born in accordance with the times. These people are created by the heavens. Yan Jin was implying something. After saying that, the two of them fell into silence. They just looked at Sima Yue, who was talking to the clansman. 2 months later, Sima Yue said goodbye to Chan Shan and the clansman and prepared to leave. The clansman sent her to the teleportation array reluctantly and asked her to come back often. Chan Shan walked over and placed a box in Sima Yue's hands. Net. Chapter 2012. These are the things I prepared for you. I've also recorded how to use them. Chan Shan said, you can use the other things as you wish, but don't drop one of them. There's an array inside that can directly return to the clan, no matter where you are, under any circumstances, you can use it to return directly. Sima Yue held the box, not knowing what was inside, but the array was very precious. No matter where you were, it could be used under any circumstances, which meant that it was very powerful. Even if the space was sealed, it could still be used, which showed how powerful it was. If she were to encounter a situation where she was surrounded by more than 10 old fellows, she would not have to think about going to the spirit pagoda, but could use it to return. This was equivalent to having an extra life. And she said that there were instructions to use it, which meant that there were many things inside. That was true. When she went to the treasury this time, she saw many treasures, just a few of them were already very heavy. Thank you, grandmother. She kept the box. The secret sect does not appear in the world, I won't ask about its location. The transportation array will send you to the outside of the triangular region, then you can go to the secret sect. Chan Shan said. All right. Her action made Yan Jin and Fei Yi feel very comfortable. If she wanted to ask about the secret sect's location, it was impossible that they would not tell her. This way, although she would have to go there herself, there would not be a difficult process. Chan Jiu will be your guard in the future, he will protect your safety. Sima Yue thought of the scene where Chan Jiu shouted at those old fellows to retreat, then imagined him following by her side as a guard. The corners of her mouth twitched and she declined. Right emissary is going to be my guard? Isn't that too much of a waste? Chan Jiu is powerful and has strong battle power, let him go to your side, there's no need to arrange so many people around you. Chan Shan said, or do you prefer that? Sima Yue opened her mouth but finally agreed, as long as right emissary doesn't feel wronged. Protecting young master's safety is the most important. Chan Jiu said. Alright, this meant that he was going to come too. She really felt that it was a waste of talent for such a noble person to be her guard. After giving some instructions, Sima Yue and the rest used the transportation array to leave 9th Underworld Mountain. Chan Jiu was added to the group. After coming out of the teleportation array, they identified the direction and went to the nearby city. They knew where they were now. I'm leaving. Mou said before entering the city. You're going to the hidden sect to study. I won't follow you. The main reason he followed her was to find Fuxi, and then to protect her in the little world. Now that she was going to study, there was no need for him to follow her anymore. Alright. When you return to the imperial capital, tell your cousins that you're safe. He must be anxious now that the little realm has collapsed. Sima Yue said. Leave a sound stone behind. I'll give it to him directly. Mou said. All right. Sima Yue ran to the side and left the words she wanted to say in the sound stone. Then she handed the sound stone to Mou. The people of the hidden sect have a messy background. There are people from all 3 regions of the world of spirits and souls. After you enter, don't think about keeping the peace if you encounter any trouble. After all, you are the Ghost King's granddaughter and the young master of the 9 Netherbird clan. I know. Don't you know my personality? Sima Yue did not want to make things difficult for herself. These 2 children are really troublesome. Leave them to someone else. The Ghost King and the 9 Netherbird clan will take good care of them. Don't let their kindness bring trouble. I understand. Also, Mou reminded them before opening the space and leaving. Sima Yue felt that he was much more naggy to his own clan members. Hai Xing and Hai Shi were very quiet. They were afraid that Sima Yue would suddenly send them away. Although they could cultivate in other places, they wanted to stay by Sima Yue's side. They only trusted her. However, they knew that they were troublesome, so they did not dare to hope that she would always bring them along. They could only wait for her to make her own decision. Luckily, Sima Yue did not say anything about letting them leave. Only then did they feel relieved. How are we going to the hidden sect? Sima Yue asked. Is there a teleportation array? That's too far. It will consume a lot of array stones. Also, the space near the hidden sect is more chaotic. We can't use arrays, Fei Yi said. We have to use the teleportation array to go to a nearby place and then fly back. Is it so troublesome? Then isn't it inconvenient for you to go back every time? If you encounter any danger, you won't be able to go back in time, right? Yan Jin and Fei Yi laughed when they heard her words. In the ghost world, no one will provoke the hidden sect. It's the uncrowned king of the ghost world. Provoking it is equivalent to making an enemy of the 3 regions of the ghost world, Fei Yi said. Also, how can a place that can cultivate so many disciples be trampled on? That's true. However, I quite admire the leader of the hidden sect for setting such a rule. This is similar to an outstanding school. On one hand, it cultivated talents for the ghost world. On the other hand, it gave the hidden sect a supreme position in the ghost world. They entered the city and passed through the teleportation array a few times before arriving at the place that Fei Yi mentioned. At the same time, Mou returned to the imperial capital and went to see Dija. When he reached the general's residence, Yuanwan was also there. She was crying sadly in front of Dija. It was all her fault. Why did she have to tell Sima Yue about Gu Zhanhuan? If she hadn't gone to look for her, she wouldn't have gone. She wouldn't have encountered the collapse of the space and her life and death would not be unknown. You're all here. Just nice. I've informed you all together. Mo came out of the space. Deja and Yu Wanwan looked over. Where's Yue? Yu Wanwan stood up from the chair and looked at Mo nervously, afraid that he would bring bad news. Even Deja didn't care about him and ran directly to his general's residence. Here, this girl gave it to you. Mo took out the sound stone and threw it to Deja. He found a seat and sat down. Deja injected spiritual power, and Sima Yue's voice came from inside. Cousin, I'm very good now. I came out of the space and came to the enclosed triangular area. Now that I'm out, I'm preparing to go to the Yin sect to see if I can join the Yin sect to learn. Cousin, how's Cousin Wanwan? I don't know if they went out before the space collapsed. If she's fine when you see her, tell her that I'm very good now. I've already collected Gu Zhanhuan. Speaking of which, it was so smooth because of Yan Qi's help. In addition, I've also collected the evil soul under Qi He. It's now in my 100 ghost banner. Actually, I'm most worried about my grandfather. When I went to the Mo clan this time, I gave him some water from the chaotic world. I don't know if it can help him understand the natural law. I didn't see him this time when I went back. If he has any matters, you should contact me. You should know how to find me. Time is of the essence. You can ask Mo about our matters. He will tell you. Nah. Chapter 2013. She didn't say much, but she explained her route clearly. Listening to her voice, her condition was better. There shouldn't be any problems. Did you all get out before the space collapsed? Yu Wanwan asked. No. When we were about to reach the exit, the space collapsed. Mo answered her. Luckily it was at the exit. The space in the small realm was getting weaker, so everyone was seriously injured and fell into the triangular area. Mo also gave a rough account of what happened later on. Everything was described very simply, but it still made them feel the thrill of it. Now, she followed Yanjin and the rest to the Yin sect to stabilize herself. According to her, she improved too quickly after entering the ghost world and couldn't reach her realm. Also, she relied too much on external forces. She needs to control her own rhythm and improve her realm. It's not bad if she can go to the Yin sect, Yu Wanwan said. After she entered the ghost world, she kept thinking about saving Ant and pushed herself too hard. Deja supported her choice. However, Yan Jin from the Soul Society isn't a good person. Fei Yi's reputation in the Soul Society isn't good either. Nothing will happen to them if they follow Yue, right? Are you afraid that they will lead her astray? Mo wasn't worried at all. It's good enough if she doesn't lead others astray. The background of the people in the Yin sect is messy. I say you're her cousin? Why do I feel like you're her aunt? Mo interrupted her impatiently and said, worrying about this and that. It's unbearable to be an old woman. Deja choked back his words. He was so angry that his face turned red. Mo, don't think that I'll acknowledge you just because you're Yue's friend. If you dare to come to the general's residence like this again, I'll beat you out. He shouted. TSKU? Can you beat me? Mo sneered and looked down on him. You can try. Deja slammed the table. He was so angry that his head was about to explode. Deja, do you think that I won't do anything to you just because you're the general? Mo's eyes were filled with disdain. If you didn't acknowledge me, would you let Yue ask me to join you? When did I ask you to join me? I just don't want you to side with Anaheim. Doesn't that mean the same thing? How can they be the same? Of course. Yu Wanwan was surprised to see the two of them quarreling here. This Lord Mo is different from the rumors. Well, Deja looks different from usual. The two men could even quarrel. She really had to hand it to them. Seeing that they were about to fight, she got up and left. Sigh, what a childish man. Diwu stood at the door. When he saw her coming out, he said, Princess Wanwan, you've left? Yes, let's go. If I don't leave now that I know Yue is fine, am I supposed to stay and watch them fight? Hi, they won't fight. Diwu chuckled. He wasn't worried about his master at all. Are they like this every time they interact? Yu Wanwan asked. Yes. In the past, before the little princess came to the ghost world, they interacted like this. Now that the little princess is here, it's even more impossible for them to fight. Although Master is angered to death by Lord Mo every time, there's a difference in their abilities. Before he could do anything, he would be defeated. That's why Lord Mo gives in to my master every time. Diwu didn't hold back when he ridiculed his master. Yu Wanwan looked at Deja, who was standing at the door, and looked at Diwu sympathetically. She smiled and said, take care, before leaving. Diwu saw that something was wrong with her eyes before she left. Before he turned around, he felt the cold air behind him. Finished. He was caught red-handed for speaking ill of her. Diwu wanted to cry. Why was he so unlucky? Princess 112. She didn't even give him a reminder. Master. Diwu turned around and looked at the furious Deja carefully. He wanted to cry but had no tears. He thought that Deja would punish him severely. However, Deja only looked at him and left in big strides. Master's personality has changed? He's actually not punishing me. Diwu looked at Deja's back view in confusion. Weren't the two of them quarreling just now? Why did he come out in the next second? This isn't in line with Master's usual behavior. He saw Mou coming out and was even more puzzled. Leaving Mou here was even more out of line with his character. Mou saw Diwu and said approvingly, Not bad. Not bad what? Of course, it was him who spoke up for justice, and dared to clear his master's name. Diwu looked at Mou pitifully and asked, Lord Mou, where is my master going? Will he come back to deal with me later? Don't worry, he doesn't have the energy to deal with you now. Mou's words made Diwu feel more at ease. At the same time he was worried for him. Did something happen? I just let him have the energy to quarrel with me. Why don't he go and check on the king? Then he left. So simple? So simple. After Mou finished speaking, he left leisurely. Simple? I'm afraid it's not simple. He didn't expect this brat to do such a thing and let the Ghost King use the Chaos Water to go against heaven. Did she know how big of a commotion this would cause in the Ghost Realm? Even the entire situation in the Ghost Realm would change. It could even be said that the entire world would change. Emperor was no longer an unreachable dream. What a daring lass. Sima Yue followed Yanjin and Bandit 1 on the flying beast for over 10 days before they arrived at a small town. We're here. Yanjin ordered the flying beast to descend and the few of them stopped outside the small town. This is the hidden sect. Sima Yue looked at the small town. There were at most a few hundred to 1,000 people. The hidden sect was so small? This is just the main entrance. Bandit 1 explained, at the end we can't casually use the flying beasts. We can only use the flying beasts here. Furthermore, the people who come and go can only wait here to be notified. Then do we have to wait here to be notified too? Speaking of which, yes. Alright then. The people here won't bully us, right? Who dares to bully you? Bandit 1 chuckled. But I have to tell you something first. The sect doesn't care about fights between fellow sect members. However, outsiders who bully the people in the sect are not allowed here. They will be attacked together. You guys aren't from the sect now, so you can't create trouble here. Alright then. Sima Yue pouted. She didn't provoke others and others didn't provoke her either. This way everyone would be at peace. Net. Chapter 2014. Her thoughts were beautiful and simple. But she also knew that if she didn't look for trouble, trouble wouldn't necessarily let her go. So when trouble came she wasn't surprised but helpless. She was very low-key, so she stayed in the only inn here, waiting for Yenju to go back first and then come to pick them up. It would take 2 or 3 days to go back and forth so they could wait in the inn. Who knew that as soon as Yenju left, trouble would come. The cause was very simple. It wasn't the trouble brought by Hai Shi and Hai Xing. It was just because a pervert saw Sima Yue and saw that they were outsiders, so he wanted to take advantage of them, but he was kicked away by Wu Lingyu. The originally quiet town suddenly exploded. What the F***ck, someone dared to hit the people in the gate here. How many years has it been? Is there really such a person? He's too bold. Not bad. Let's go and see. If the people in the gate can't beat them, will you help? Tiske, the one who was kicked away is the pervert from the beast taming gate, who will help him. Then are you going to help the people outside? No, it's not in accordance with the rules. Then what are you going to do? I'm going to watch the show. See how that pervert is beaten up. Let's go. Didn't you say you won't go? When did I say I won't go? Then why are you asking me so much? It's fun. This man is really annoying. The two left the tea house and went to the scene of the incident. The other tea drinkers noticed them. Isn't this Kanan Xin and Konoha-chi? They haven't appeared for a long time. Why are they here? I haven't seen this pair of clowns for a long time. I miss them. That's not right. Konoha-chi is the only clown, but Kanan Xin is not. He is the dream lover of all the girls in the gate. Kanan Xin's temperament has frozen your young hearts into ice, right? Tisk, although he is cold and unapproachable, it can't hide his charm. We just need to see him from afar. You love-struck girls. Sigh, I'm really envious of the women in the formation school. They get to see him often. I think you're also a fake love-struck fool. Your dream lover has already left. Why don't you chase after her? My idol is too cold, I'd better watch from afar. That's why you're a hypocrite. Sima Yue looked at the situation in front of her with a headache. The person who was kicked to the ground had yet to get up, but the crowd had already surrounded the place. It was to watch the show and to prevent them from escaping. She looked at Wu Lingyu resentfully. Couldn't she have just endured it a little? If you continue to tolerate it, his smelly claws will land on you. Wu Lingyu snorted coldly. He did not feel that he had done anything wrong. Yes, if Big Brother Lingyu doesn't kick him away, I'll let him have a taste of the dragon's breath that I learned. Fushi also snorted coldly, saying, it's not like we can't beat these people. It's not about whether we can win or not, it's about the trouble. Sima Yue said helplessly. Don't be afraid. You're not someone who's afraid of trouble. Fushi waved her fist. I'm not afraid of trouble, but I don't like trouble. Sima Yue's head hurt. There are so many people, are we going to beat them all up? So that more people would be attracted here? Then tell them that we want to join them? I think we'll be sent flying before we can even say that. How can we say that we want to join them? That's true. Fushi's little face scrunched up. Forget it, we've already beaten him up. She did not like trouble, but she was not afraid of it. Moreover, she had already planned to send this person flying if he touched her. Wu Lingyu had only done what she wanted to do in advance. That fatty got up from the ground. Immediately, people surrounded him and showed him all sorts of concern. Looks like we've beaten up someone with a strong background. Sima Yue said faintly. In this kind of place where geniuses gathered, those who could make them curry favor with those who had a strong background, especially those who had a high status in the secret sect. Indeed, after those people helped the lecherous fatty up, someone immediately started to threaten Wu Lingyu. Qin Kai is the grandson of vice sect leader Qin, how dare you beat him up? You're all tired of living. I think they're tired of living. Young Master Qin Kai, should we go and exterminate them directly? Why would we need to do that? Let's just release the underworld beast and stomp them into meat patties. That's a good idea. This time, the way those people were stomped into meat patties was pretty good. Indeed, the people who love to stir up trouble are always the juniors of the sect leader, vice sect leader, elders and stewards. Those people were talking non-stop. Sima Yue shook her head. Don't tell me there aren't any other tricks? Because only people with such backgrounds dare to do whatever they want in the sect. Wu Lingyu said. That's true. But there are exceptions. Many people are still very good. Fushi felt that he was the exception. Look at how well-behaved and obedient he was. He had never done things like snatching beauties, nor had he ever taken liberties with decent women. He didn't even want to bother with those women. Now that he saw with his own eyes this kind of fat, big-eared lecherous person who used his power to bully others, he felt that he was really a good boy. Sima Yue saw his narcissistic look and couldn't help but poke his forehead, reprimanding him. With your small body, what can you do to women? If you want to commit a crime, you must have the body to commit a crime, do you understand? I will have it. Fushi was being laughed at. At this moment he suddenly had an idea. Should he wait until his body grew up and do something like snatching beauties? He didn't know if that man would chase him to the ends of the earth if he snatched the woman beside him. Qin Kai and all the people from the Beast Tamer sect were furious. They had already revealed his identity, but these people actually ignored them and continued to laugh. This was a provocation. A naked provocation. At the same time, it also showed that they didn't care about them and the secret sect at all. This was also an insult to them. Call out the divine beast that we tamed a few days ago and show them what we're capable of. Someone suggested. All right. Qin Kai took out a small cage with a pseudo-underworld beast nestled inside. When it saw Qin Kai, it subconsciously shrank its body. Go, if you stomp these people into meat patties, I'll stop your daily fire punishment. Qin Kai said as he opened the cage. When the underworld beast heard his words, it ran out without hesitation. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. Divine beast? Looks like we're being looked down upon. Nah. Chapter 2015. A divine beast wanted to deal with them. Wasn't this looking down on them? Yue, let me deal with this little b*****. Fushi's small body stepped forward. The divine beast in front of him transformed into its original form. Fushi was only the height of its foot. It was comical no matter how one looked at it. Qin Kai and the rest laughed. A small child wanted to deal with such a large divine beast? Little fellow, don't think that the divine beast won't kill you just because you're small. You've only been in this world for a few days, right? If you die so young, you won't be able to see this great world. Yes, little fellow. You'd better step aside obediently. We'll make it leave your corpse intact later. Fushi was very unhappy. He was being discriminated against by these people. He decided to knock this fellow down with one punch and give these people a good shock. However, before he could do anything, the divine beast in front of him moved first. Furthermore, it turned around in surprise. It cried out loudly and looked at Qingkai. Their gazes were filled with hatred. Then, under the shocked gazes of the group, it stomped on Qingkai. Qingkai and the rest did not expect the divine beast to attack them. Hence, their reaction was a beat slower. Even though they managed to dodge the huge foot, they were still hit by the wind brought about by the divine beast. A few of them were injured. When the members of the secret sect saw this, they were first shocked and then burst into laughter. The beast-taming sect had lost a lot of face this time. The beast that they had tamed did not attack the enemy but attacked their own people instead. This matter was enough to make the beast-taming sect unable to raise their heads for a few years. Fushi was also very surprised. He turned around to look at Wu Lingyu and the rest, wondering if they had secretly done something. We didn't do anything. This person's method of taming the beast is extremely cruel and this divine beast has not been completely tamed. Now that it has regained its freedom, all the hatred in its heart has surged forth. Sima Yue explained to him. Roar! The underworld beast let out the most primitive roar and raised its huge foot to stomp on Qingkai and the rest. Qingkai and the rest dodged pathetically on the ground. The attack that did not hurt or itch did not slow down its movements. Sima Yue looked at this scene and said, "It seems that the secret sect's words are not true. Although professional masters are weaker than ordinary people, they shouldn't be unable to deal with a mythical beast with so many of them." Too weak, Wu Lingyu echoed. Just now he did not use much strength in his kick, but he was still sent flying. This showed that this person's strength was weak. Qingkai is just a good-for-nothing in the Yin sect. How can he represent the Yin sect? A voice came from the rooftop. It seemed that the person was not convinced after hearing what they said. I see. That's more like it. Otherwise it would be too disappointing. Sima Yue said. What? Do you have high hopes for the secret order? After all, I want to study here. Sima Yue said. Then you probably don't stand a chance. Konoha-chi said, you hit one of our people so you're making an enemy out of the entire Yin sect. No one will agree. It's okay. You don't have to care about your opinions. Sima Yue said. Oh my, this little girl's tone is not small. Ignoring the disciples of the secret order, even if you can enter, you won't have a good life in the future. Our Yin sect does not restrict internal fights. Konoha-chi said. I know. So what? Sima Yue said calmly, not caring about these things. You're really a newborn calf who isn't afraid of tigers. How brave. Now I'm hoping that you can enter the academy. Konoha-chi looked at her, then we'll have a good show to watch. Then help me solve the problem in front of me first. Otherwise I'll beat up everyone here. If you can't enter the hidden sect because of this, won't you lose some hope? Sima Yue raised her head and looked at him. The smile on her face was dazzling. You want me to help you, right? Konoha-chi snorted. No, I don't. Isn't this what you want me to do to show you some fun? If I want to watch a show, how can I not pay the price? Sima Yue shrugged. What you said makes sense. Konoha-chi said. Nonsense. Kanan XN snorted. Don't you think it's interesting? If such a person can enter, there will be a lot of fun in the future. Konoha-chi said, moreover, I really don't like Fatty Ching. This matter has already made the Beast Tamer School unable to raise their heads. If you get involved again, they'll point their spear at you. Konoha-chi sneered, you're talking as if there's no such thing and they're not targeting me. Anyway, they don't like me, so why not make my life easier? Take it easy. I know. Sima Yue's attention was attracted by Qingkai's scream. She looked over and saw a few people dragging him out from under the feet of the mythical beast. Bastard! A loud shout came from the front, followed by a flash of sword light. The sword light had a cold aura and directly pierced through the mythical beast's body. It flew out from its back and went straight for Yue and the others. Wu Lingyu casually waved his hand and stopped it. Roar! The mythical beast raised its head and roared, its voice filled with unwillingness. A large amount of blood spurted out from its body. Then the mythical beast fell backward and its body was split into two from left to right. Yue and the others flew back to avoid its body. What a powerful sword energy. The people from the Yin sect sighed, but Qingkai is injured, I don't know what will happen. Those people are doomed. The elders of the Beast Tamer School are here, they can't escape death this time. What a pity for such a beautiful woman. The people from the Beast Tamer School saw the people flying over and couldn't help but cry. Fourth Elder, you're finally here. Young Master Qing Kai is injured. The fourth elder of the Beast Tamer School looked at the badly mutilated Qing Kai and frowned. Why is he injured so badly? It's all because of those people. They kicked young Master Qing Kai away, so he thought of using the mythical beast to kill them. In the end, he was injured by the mythical beast. Fourth elder, you have to make a decision for young Master Qing Kai. The fourth elder looked at Sima Yue and the others. Looking at her beauty, he could roughly guess the whole story. He took out his sword and wanted to kill them. But he also saw how Wu Lingyu dispelled his sword energy and knew that he was a tough nut to crack. Fourth elder, if I were you, I would bring Fatty Qing Kai back to treat his injuries first. Konoha Chi said, killing them is a small matter. If Fatty Qing dies, you won't be able to explain it to the vice headmaster, right? Konoha Chi, are you siding with them? The fourth elder said in a low voice. I'm obviously siding with you. Konoha Chi said seriously, do you think you can defeat them with your strength? Nah. Chapter 2016. The Beast Tamer Gates people were angered by Konoha Chi's words. Was he speaking up for them? He was obviously looking down on them. What do you mean? Are you looking down on us? Someone had to say it out loud. Qing Kai was stupid and the people around him were also stupid. The fourth elder was angry and wanted to bite the bullet, but Kanan Xen said softly, Qing Kai is dying. Fourth elder, let's hurry up and bring the young master back. Qing Sai's servant was about to cry. If the young master died, he would be dead too. The fourth elder finally found a way out. He asked someone to lift Qing Kai up and brought the Beast Tamer Gate people back. Konoha Chi stood on the roof and waved at the people who were watching the show. All right, everyone can leave now. You really want to help these people? They beat up the people in the gate. Someone said. Konoha Chi raised his chin at that person. Then you want to go with Qing Kai? I'll leave. That person turned and left. If it was someone else, they would have beaten them up. But this person was Qing Kai and they were too lazy to stand up for him. He had such thoughts and so did the others. Thus everyone left. It's settled? I thought there would be a big fight. Fushi said disappointedly. Little girl, you can't like to fight. Konoha Chi said from the roof, I hope you can really join the gate or else it will be a waste of my yelling. Let's go back. Kanan Xen said and flew back. Konoha Chi quickly chased after her. That person just left like that? He didn't even leave a name or anything. Fushi pouted. Look at these two people, they have an extraordinary aura, and their words have some weight. I think their position in the gate is not low. If we can go in, we will naturally know who they are. If we can't, then we don't need to know. Sima Yue said. That's right, he probably thinks so too. Let's go back to the inn. Although these people didn't cause trouble for us, we beat up their people. I think they won't say anything to us now. They waited at the inn for 3 days, but they didn't see Yanjin and Bandit One. Instead they saw a few other disciples. We are disciples of the Sound Sect. Young Martial Uncle asked us to bring you to the mountain. The leader said. Pick us up? Sima Yue sized them up and nodded. Alright, wait a moment. She went to check out of the room and followed these people. The only waiter in the inn came to the counter, threw the cloth on his shoulder onto the counter and said wickedly, Are we really not going to remind them? Remind me about what? The shopkeeper supported his chin with one hand and closed his eyes. His head was nodding as if he was about to fall asleep. Little Fool was already familiar with this state of his. He directly ignored him and said, Those people are not from the Sound Sect. I think they are most likely from the Beast Taming Sect. They definitely didn't have good intentions when they came to pick him up. Yue, will you be in danger if you follow them? The shopkeeper opened his eyes, yawned, and stretched in an extremely ungraceful manner. Then he picked up the cloth on the counter and threw it onto Little Fool's shoulder. He reprimanded, How many days will they stay here? You keep saying Yue, are you that close? They don't look like simple people. Instead of worrying about them, why don't you go and work for me? Have you cleaned up the room? Have you cleaned the courtyard? Have you cleaned the tables and chairs? If not, then hurry up and go. Little Fool took the cloth from his head and walked back slowly. No one has stayed in this inn for a few months. What's there to clean? You sleep here all day and only know how to squeeze my labor force. My time is used for cultivation. If you continue to blabber, I will throw you back into the mountain. the shopkeeper threatened. Little Fool immediately changed his attitude when he heard that he was going to be thrown back. He took the cloth and wiped the table beside him. He chuckled and said, "Shopkeeper, look at how diligent I am. How can you bear to throw me back? I didn't notice that you were diligent, but I did notice that you were talkative and lazy. If you don't work, you'll be blind. Scram back." The shopkeeper closed his eyes and continued to doze off. Little Fool heaved a sigh of relief. Being able to follow him was something that many people in the sect wanted. He had finally agreed to it after much difficulty. How could he be chased back? However, he really admired these people. If they died like this, it would be such a pity. He hoped that the shopkeeper was right. These people were all very powerful. Sima Yue followed those people and left the town, walking towards the mountains behind. The hidden sect is very big. Every sect has their own sphere of influence. Most of them have mountain peaks as the boundary. Every sect has their own main peak. Together with the surrounding mountain peaks, they form their own area. Our sound sect is smaller than the others, so our place is more remote. The leader was more enthusiastic as he introduced them to the places along the way and also the matters between the sections. They followed these people and walked for half a day. The more they walked, the more remote they became. They even left those lively mountain peaks and came to a barren place. The sound sect is so pitiful. Fushi looked at the barren mountain and sighed. You guys are too embarrassing to be in such a state. Every sect is very strong. This is based on strength. That person smiled and explained. Sect master and junior master are at the main peak. We can't go there casually. If you go there, someone will come to receive you. Sima Yue and the rest went in without hesitation. After taking a few steps forward, they felt a weak resistance. Then they entered a barrier. Haha, these people are so easy to fool. Those people even told us to be careful. Those people laughed. Those people are making a mountain out of a molehill. Yes, now that they have entered the Great Barren Mountain, they can forget about coming out. The underworld beasts inside will treat them well. Underworld beasts? You guys are from the beast taming sect? Sima Yue asked. You know that we are from the beast taming sect? You guys knew when you came. Sima Yue said. We were just bored outside and wanted to see what you guys were up to. I didn't expect it to be such a boring trick. Boring trick? Do you know what kind of place the Great Barren Mountain is? That is the forbidden area of the entire hidden sect. There is a barrier left behind by the seniors. As long as you enter without the secret method of the beast taming sect, you can only wait for death inside. There are piles of divine beasts inside. You guys can wait for death inside. You're saying that we can't get out of this barrier? Sima Yue said as she took a step forward and arrived outside the barrier. Net. Chapter 2017. How is that possible? How did you come out? The people from the Beast Tamer school were astonished when they saw her walk out. What's so difficult about that? Sima Yue took another step back, went in and then came out again. This boundary was completely useless against her. What did you do? Why can you ignore this boundary? The people from the Beast Tamer school asked. It's not just me, nah. Sima Yue turned around to look at Chanjiu, who also walked out. That's why this is useless. She learned that she was immune to boundaries when she was at the 9th Underworld Mountain. With Mo Lian's bloodline and cultivation method, all boundaries were useless against her. Humph, even if the two of you can come out, it's useless. Those people still have to die, or all of you will die together. So boring, I probably won't be in the mood to play with you. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she suddenly disappeared on the spot. In the next breath, she appeared behind them and kicked them all into the boundary. At the same time, Little Roar opened a button on the boundary to let Fushi, Huan, and the others out. Awoo, the Nether Beast's voice was getting closer and closer, and the expressions of the people from the Beast Tamer school changed. In order to let the Nether Beasts deal with Yue and the others, they placed something here to attract the Nether Beasts. It would make the Nether Beasts go berserk, temporarily lose their rationality, and attack people on sight. Now that the Nether Beasts had come over, weren't they going to deal with them? Let's get out quickly. The boundary here can't do anything to us. The person in the lead shouted, and everyone rushed out of the boundary. However, their secret method seemed to be useless now. No matter how they tried, they couldn't come out. How can this be? There seems to be something wrong with this boundary. Someone said in horror. Fear was contagious. Perhaps he was the only one who was afraid at first, but after he said this, the others also became fearful. If they couldn't get out, then wouldn't they die here today? Let's try again. See if the method is wrong. One person might be a problem with the method, but we can't get out, so how can it be a problem with the method? Despair and fear spread even faster when they saw the figure of the nether beasts. They couldn't care less and wanted to come out again and again. You don't have to waste your energy. This enchantment is not the enchantment in your door. Lingyu just prepared it for you. You can enter but not leave, so the underworld beasts can enter. Sima Yue looked at them and said, "You should turn your attention to the battle now." What? How dare you? Tesuke, you dare to scheme against us? Why can't we retaliate? Fushi placed his hands on his waist. This is called giving you a taste of your own medicine. Enjoy it. Soon, those underworld beasts came over and entered Wu Lingyu's barrier. When they saw the people from the beast taming school, they all attacked. There were so many underworld beasts and their strength was so strong. These few people were not enough to deal with them at all. They were torn into pieces in a few moves. Starfish and Haishi turned pale with fright, but they forced themselves to watch. If they were not powerful, if Yue did not have Little Roar who could open the enchantment, they would be the ones who would end up like this. Therefore they could not sympathize with these people. They had to watch carefully and see what would happen if they were not strong enough. Who dares to be impudent in the secret order? A group of people quickly flew over on their mounts. When they saw the broken limbs inside the enchantment, their pupils shrank. How dare you? How dare you commit murder in public in the secret order and kill our disciples? Today we must take you down. Sima Yue looked at these dozens of people. They were not weak. Some of them were wearing the same embroidered clothes as Qingkai and the others. What does your beast taming school want? You lured us here and wanted to kill us. In the end, you found out that your people were dead, so you let the secret order's people come out to deal with it? It seems that your beast taming school is too useless. The Black Shadow's words were full of ridicule, making the people from the beast taming school furious. No matter what, you killed our people and are going against the secret order. Guard Liao, these people can't be let go. I suggest you execute them. The people from the beast taming school looked at Liao Tsangming, the leader of the secret order's guards who had spoken up first. I don't care what grudges you have between you. This is the secret order. Killing our disciples in the secret order is going against the entire secret order. According to the secret order's rules, you must be killed without mercy. Liao Tsangming replied. You're Guard Liao, right? Don't you understand? How are we the ones who killed them? The ones who killed them were clearly the underworld beasts. Besides, we didn't call the underworld beasts here. This is our first time in the secret order. How could we have known that this was the place where the underworld beasts were kept? How could we have let them come here? Sima Yue refuted, even though you have the rules to protect your disciples, how could you have the nerve to push the blame onto us for these suicidal people? Liao Tsangming furrowed his brows. Her words made sense. Don't try to quibble. If you had not cheated, they would not have been killed by the underworld beasts. Guard Liao, the Vice Order Master has said that we can't keep these people alive. As long as we kill these people, we can reserve one of the tamed sacred beasts for you. Liao Tsangming was a little moved. He had been wanting a sacred beast recently, but it was difficult to tame a sacred beast. Even if one was tamed, it would not be his turn, as it would be snatched away by the various order masters, elders, young lords and geniuses. Now that Vice Order Master Qing had said this, wouldn't the sacred beast that he had been longing for be his? However, these people were right. It was obvious that the beast tamer sect's disciples had not planned this out properly. That was why they had been killed instead. They had brought this upon themselves. Guard Liao, there's no need to feel troubled. Regardless of the process, the beast tamer sect's disciples had indeed died because of these people. You're just following the rules. Sima Yue could tell that Liao Tsangming was struggling in his heart. However, in the end he could not resist the temptation. The kindness in his eyes faded and he waved his hand at the guards behind him. Capture them all. Guard Liao will deal with them on the spot. The beast tamer sect member reminded him. Liao Tsangming glanced at him and corrected himself. Deal with them on the spot. When the guards received the order, they knew that they were very powerful and all of them attacked them. We're here to study. Don't go too far. Just make them unable to move. Sima Yue said. Huan and Heiying received the order and beat all the guards to the ground. They were all lying on the ground, unable to move, but their lives were not in danger. Zheng, the sound of zither strings came from all directions. Hearing this sound, the faces of the people present changed. Net. Chapter 2018. Sima Yue and the rest raised their heads to look. A white figure had appeared on the cliff at the side without them noticing. He sat at the top of the mountain with a guqin on his lap. Seeing him, Liao Tsangming and the rest of the Beast Tamer sect members were a little timid. Sect leader Lu, why are you here? Liao Tsangming bowed to Lu Yan, sighing in his heart. Liao Tsangming, I'm clearly handsome and elegant. Why do you make me sound like an old man? Lu Yan's hands lightly rested on the strings. His voice was elegant, but it made Liao Tsangming's hair stand. This old monster liked to pretend to be elegant and didn't like people calling him old. However, his status was high, so everyone had to show respect to him. Sect leader Lu, I definitely didn't mean that. You're so young and handsome, how are you old? Liao Tsangming chuckled. Lu Yan didn't want to talk nonsense with him. He looked at the opposite cliff. Vice sect leader Qing, why are you hiding there? Since you're here, come out and chat with us. Everyone's gaze followed him to the opposite cliff. A man who looked very similar to Qing Kai appeared at the top of the cliff. Sect leader Lu, this is the place where our Beast Tamer sect tames beasts. Why are you here? Vice sect leader Qing didn't feel embarrassed at being exposed. Instead he questioned him. I heard the commotion, so I came. These people hurt my son. I hope sect leader Lu won't interfere in this matter. These people hurt your son? Wasn't your son hurt by a divine beast that he hadn't tamed? As a beast tamer he was hurt by a tamed underworld beast. Such a shameful thing. If I were you, I would be in a hurry to cover it up. Why would I come out to find trouble with others? Oh, your son's injury isn't light, right? If you don't guard him and he wakes up and doesn't see you, he'll start crying again. Vice sect leader Qing's face couldn't be any darker. This matter had become a big joke in the secret order. Those who didn't get along with him would seize the opportunity to teach him a lesson. Now the entire Beast Tamer sect couldn't raise their heads in the secret order. That was why he wanted to kill Sima Yue and the rest. If it weren't for them, his precious son wouldn't be hurt and the Beast Tamer sect wouldn't be humiliated. When Qing Kai woke up, he couldn't stop crying. It just so happened that a disciple from the pill sect who came to deliver the pills saw this and spread the news. Lu Yan's words were truly mocking the matter of a young girl loving her father. You don't have to worry about my son. Vice sect master Qing snorted coldly. Although these people came with your sect's Yan Qi, they are now facing the death of my sect's people. Are you going to ignore the sect's rules and protect them? Sect rules? What do the sect rules say? No matter how the disciples of the sect interact with each other, if outsiders bully our disciples, we must protect them. This is it. Lu Yan stood up and hugged her zither. This is a matter between the inner sect disciples. Why are you stepping in? Let them deal with it themselves. They're clearly not. When it happened, she was already a disciple of my sect. Lu Yan said, so this is just a matter between the disciples. Us old fellows shouldn't get involved. How is that possible? How could she be your disciple? Vice sect master Qing didn't believe it. Even if you want to protect her, you don't have to find such an excuse. You're challenging the sect rules. Previously, Yan Qi was teaching her cultivation methods. From now on she will be my little disciple. Lu Yan said. If you don't believe me, Yue, play a song for them to see. Don't play too hard. Sima Yue guessed his identity as soon as he came out. Since he was going to enter the Yin sect, it should be more convenient to be the disciple of the sect master. So she took out her flute and gently blew it. Although her technique was not very skilled, it was indeed the technique of the Yin sect's direct disciples. I will go and ask the sect master for an explanation. Vice sect master Qing finished speaking and left, not looking at these people again. When the people of the Beast Tamer sect saw that their vice sect master had left, they also hurriedly left, leaving behind the corpses that were eaten by the underworld beasts. In the end, not even bones were left. Liao Tsangming was embarrassed. He apologized to Sima Yue and the others. I'm sorry. I didn't know that you were already members of the Yin sect. I've offended you. You also said that you didn't know. Those who don't know are innocent. Sima Yue did not intend to go against everyone. Moreover, Huan and the others had already taught these people a lesson. Liao Tsangming looked at Sima Yue in a higher light. He cupped his hands and left with his people. Only Lu Yan and the others were left here. Did I show up for nothing? Lu Yan said lightly. Without master it will be more troublesome today. It will be more difficult to enter the Yin sect. Sima Yue said. You changed your mind quite quickly. But you should know why. The smile on Lu Yan's face faded a little. Let's go back to the Yin sect first. Of course Sima Yue knew why. It was because of the bone flute in her hand. They followed her back to the Yin sect. Although those people before had bad intentions, some of what they said was still right. For example, the Yin sect was in a remote place. They passed through many mountain peaks along the way. Those mountain peaks were very lively. When they arrived at the Yin sect, there was only one word to describe it: desolate. Yenya was at the top of the mountain. When he saw them behind Lu Yen, he nodded slightly at them. Where are the others? Lu Yen landed and walked towards the mountain. They are all waiting at the meeting building. Yenya said. Go to the meeting building. He walked in front while Yenya and Sima Yue followed behind him. Why is it him who went? I thought it would be you. Sima Yue said softly. I went to the small town with Grand Master. After knowing that you were taken away, Grand Master said he went and asked us to come back and wait. Yenya explained. Grand Master? He's your master? Sima Yue blinked and asked. Yes. When I entered the Yin sect, Master made an exception and took me in because of my good talent. Master was Grand Master's eldest disciple. But he has already passed away. Yenya explained. Then according to this, don't you have to call me young martial uncle? Sima Yue pursed her lips and smiled. He said he took me in as his disciple. He actually took you in as his disciple? Yes. Hurry up and call me young martial uncle. Yenya looked at her strangely. He knew that she would not lie. He was a little depressed in his heart. Previously, he thought that no matter what, he would let someone of his master's generation take her in as his martial brother. He did not expect Grand Master to personally take her in as his disciple. Could it be because she had the bone flute? It should not be. If it was for the bone flute, it would be the same to let someone else take her in. He did not need to do it personally. Moreover, he did not reveal his intention to take her in as his disciple. So it should be a sudden idea. But why? Nah. Chapter 2019. Sima Yue didn't know Lu Yan's personality, but he did. He didn't care about the sect's affairs these years, nor did he care about the outside world. He focused on studying music, and his personality had become much calmer. There were many people who wanted to be his disciple, and many of them were talented, but he didn't even give them any face. He felt really good about taking Sima Yue in. However, he didn't dare to ask. He could only wait and see if he would find out later. Sima Yue saw that he was in a daze and reminded him, Why are you in a daze? Is it that scary for you to call him Little Uncle Master? No, I was thinking about something just now. Yan Jin said, Little Uncle Master, let's go quickly. Otherwise, Grandmaster will be angry. Okay. They chased after Lu Yan and followed him into the meeting building. There were dozens of people sitting in the hall on the first floor. Sima Yue roughly looked and estimated that there were about 70 to 80 people. Greetings, Sect Master. Everyone stood up and bowed when Lu Yan entered. Everyone sit down. Lu Yan walked straight to the main seat and sat down. Yan Jin also went to his seat and sat down, leaving Sima Yue and the rest standing in the middle. Everyone sat down. A few of them looked at Sima Yue subconsciously when they saw her. Sect Master, what's the matter? Vice Sect Master Mo Wei, who was sitting beside him, asked. 2 days ago Yan Jin came back. When he saw him, he informed all the important people in the sect to gather for a meeting. Even those who were in seclusion were called out. This kind of urgency and grandeur had never happened before. Okay. From now on she's my disciple. Lu Yan pointed at Sima Yue. What? You actually took in a female disciple? Mo Wei cried out, Why are you? Lu Yan glanced at her and she swallowed the rest of her words. Sect Master, what's so good about this child that you took her as your disciple? Yue, show them that thing. Lu Yan was too lazy to talk nonsense. He directly told her to use her actions to tell everyone the reason. Sima Yue took out the bone flute. When they saw the bone flute, the entire meeting hall was in an uproar. This is a bone flute? Is it really a bone flute? You found the bone flute? Heavens! It really is. Everyone looked at the bone flute and none of them could remain calm. If Lu Yan wasn't here, they might not even be able to resist the urge to snatch it. Is this a real bone flute? Mo Wei asked. Yes, I verified it myself. Yan Jin said. I know. She used this as a condition to become your disciple? Mo Wei looked at Sima Yue with disdain. However, even if you want to take back the bone flute, you don't have to take her as your disciple. There are many ways for the sound gate to express their gratitude. Sima Yue could feel that this unrealistically beautiful woman was hostile towards her. Was it because she was jealous that she had become her disciple? However, her haughty and charitable look was really unpleasant to look at. The bone flute is mine. Sima Yu spoke up, interrupting Mo Wei's words. I came here because Yan Jin said that the sound sect only wants the bone flute to return to the sect. They don't have to take the bone flute back. If it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have joined the sound gate. She didn't come here to ask for charity. She didn't like it and disdained it. She's right. The bone flute is hers. Lu Yen said. What? You're not taking back the bone flute? Mo Wei exclaimed. How can that be? The meeting hall suddenly quieted down. Everyone hadn't calmed down from the joy of finding the bone flute when they heard this thunderous news. Gate Master? They looked at Lu Yen hoping that they had misheard. Just as she said, she has no obligation to return the bone flute. Lu Yen said. The bone flute has been lost for too long. Although it was created by ancestor, what right does she have to return it? But the bone flute has always been the sound gate's treasure. It must be in the sound gate. Mo Wei said firmly. Yes, so she's my disciple now. Since she's my disciple, she's naturally a member of the sound gate. Lu Yen said indifferently. Besides, whether I take in a disciple or not is my own business. Vice Gate Master, aren't you meddling too much? Mo Wei was choked speechless by his words. But he was right. He had the freedom to take in a disciple. No one could interfere. Gate Master. The others still wanted to persuade him. It wasn't about the matter of him taking in a disciple, but about the bone flute. The bone flute was so important. How could he not take it back? You don't have to say any more. The matter has already been decided. Lu Yen said. Yan Jin, bring Yue and the others down and arrange a place for them to stay. Yan Jin was a little surprised. How could he, a person who had left the sect for a long time, handle this kind of thing? But thinking that Yue and the others didn't know anyone else, he accepted the order and brought them down. After they left, Mo Wei couldn't help but ask. Lu Yen, you didn't take back the bone flute and still took her as a disciple. Is it because she looks like Zhishuan? Hearing Zhishuan's name, Lu Yan's body stiffened for a moment. He said indifferently, she is her. Zhishuan is Zhishuan. Is that so? Other than this reason, I can't think of any other reason that would make you change your attitude and take her as a disciple. You even ignored the sect's many years of hard work and allowed her to keep the bone flute. Oh? Then tell me, what should we do? Lu Yen chuckled. But everyone present knew that he was unhappy. However, perhaps Mo Wei was angered by him taking in a disciple. She didn't look at his face. Or perhaps she saw it and ignored it. She snorted and said, she just wants to enter our sound sect. We can just find someone to take her in as a disciple. The bone flute is our most valuable treasure. We should take it back even if we have to use some necessary means sometimes. Necessary means? Isn't this what you used to do often? In the past, no matter what, you would always think of the sect. How could you allow a stranger to do as she pleases? Mo Wei emphasized the word stranger, indicating that he wasn't normal. Seems like you've thought it through. Lu Yen said. Then do you know who she is? What's her strength? What's her background? Didn't you also not care about this before? Mo Wei sneered. Then do you know who she is? The others heard some clues and asked, Sect Master, what's the background of this girl? She's the Ghost King's granddaughter, Yukuluo's daughter, Sima Yue. Even if she's the Ghost King's daughter, we don't have to be afraid of her. If the Ghost King appears, I'm afraid she'll return the bone flute to us. They were the hidden sect. Even the Ghost King can't easily offend them. I haven't finished speaking. Other than being the little princess personally conferred by the Ghost King, she's also the young mistress of the Nine Nether clan. They just came down from the Nine Nether mountain before they came. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.